Welcome back to Rounding Third Baseball, episode 316, the rookie takeover of opening weekend. I'm Nick, and we have Harrison tonight. How are we doing tonight, Harrison?
Fantastic, Nick. It's been a good opening weekend. A lot of young players making a name for themselves, and just so thankful there's baseball again.
Yeah, I mean, incredible weekend. These young kids are legit. I mean, it's insane. We'll get into all that, all the other news. But first, make sure you follow and like us on Facebook. You can also subscribe on YouTube. You can also follow on Instagram, Rumble, and TikTok. You can also listen on Spotify and Apple Podcasts or wherever you get your podcasts. We also have our affiliate sponsors, Logitech, MLB Shop, and Lids. If you do any shopping with these companies, please do it through our links as we get a nice little kickback with no additional cost to you. Just a great way to support the show. And we need all the help you can get. Creators everywhere are suffering. So please consider using our links if you get any of these products. We also have Rounding Third merch on Etsy if you search Rounding Third Baseball. We have sweatshirts, t-shirts, tumblers, phone cases. Look at this thing. Pretty sweet. Great way to get our name out there and to support us. So check us out on Etsy, Rounding Third Baseball. And finally, on Patreon, we're still working on building that community, getting exclusive material over there. Because Patreon actually gives us the opportunity to support the show, unlike other streaming platforms at this particular moment. So please give us a follow on Patreon. There's countless ways that you can support us over there. So consider going there and searching for Rounding Third Baseball, and you'll find us over there on Patreon. All right, let's start right off the top. Chase DeLauter through 3 games. So Chase DeLauter for the Guardians, 5 for 14, 357 average. 4 out of his 5 hits are bombs. He's driven himself and Stephen Kwan once. So he's got 5 RBIs. The homers are off pretty dang good pitchers. Gilbert, Kirby, and Munoz. So not cheapies. He's the first player since Trevor Story to accomplish this through the first 3 games. He's also, this stat blows my mind. Still kind of hard for me to wrap my mind around it, but first player to homer in regular season debut, but not having it be his first major league hit. Just because remember, he debuted in the playoffs last year for the Guardians. So just kind of a weird baseball moment there, if you will. What were your thoughts on Chase DeLauter's weekend, Harrison?
Well, I mean, you said it. He didn't hit the home runs off of like bullpen scrubs. Gilbert, Kirby, Munoz. Last time I checked, are really good. And these home runs also weren't cheapies. Like these were not like front row scrapers. They were well hit. And the kid, he's quick to the ball. His whole approach. He's quiet. He's quick. And that's why the Guardians brought him up for the playoffs last year. Like they see a lot in this kid. He might be the first time they've had a young player to really get excited about in terms of a power bat in a long time. And I'm looking forward to seeing him play. I hope that. I mean, obviously you can't continue this tear. That would be insane. But I'm gonna definitely be keeping an eye on this kid because I think he's got a swing that will play all year.
Yeah. Ryan says he finishes 26 with 12 total bombs.
I mean, maybe.
He's got a ball in the first week. I mean, pitchers will make an adjustment. If he is just hitting the ball out of the ballpark, everyone is going to go back to the drawing board and be like, all right, how do we get this kid out? They're going to find a hole somewhere. So he will have to adjust. Yeah, I saw this John Temple when I was watching the Mariners game. Him and Luke Raley are the first opponents to homer in the first 3 games as well, too. And Luke Raley's has been impressive. He came in off the bench last night to get his 3rd homer. So pretty cool little stat there. But this kid is electric. All the kids are electric. We're going to get to them all, but this was quite impressive to see. So pretty awesome. And good news for Guardians fans. We've been wondering what they look like, how they're going to look this year. Stephen Kwan's moved to center, so we'll see how it all works out for them. But this is a pretty good start for them.
Well, in the offseason, we were wondering why they weren't going after an outfielder to try to fill one of those gaps. Apparently, they really liked this kid, and he's showing why.
Yeah. All right, let's move over to Ryan Taylor's territory here with the Cardinals. JJ Weatherholt. He homers in his debut, dead center. Also, not a cheapie, into the grass there, and then follows it up with a walk-off hit in his second game. And Cardinals are playing like they are not basement dwellers. Like everybody, including us, kind of put them. What are our takes on Weatherholt and the Cardinals right now?
I mean, I think Weatherholt was he's there's been a lot of attention on this kid. He's been the talk of the offseason coming up, and he's shown why. This is a kid with that's believed to have an extremely high ceiling. We're seeing what he can do. He's also playing out of position right now because that's just how it fits in that lineup. So, but I think he's another one of those kids that there's been a lot of talk of, and he's showing why. He absolutely can do what they thought he could do. Now, granted, it's been 3 games, and they're going to build a book on him, and he's going to have to adjust. But um, I think he's come right out and basically said, he's made the declaration that I belong here, and he's absolutely right.
Yeah, I mean, just watching him and these other kids, they just look like they belong. And we've been saying it, for the last couple of years here. It's just like the kids come up, the moment's not too big, and they perform right away, and they become stars immediately. It's just that's I think my biggest take from opening weekend was just how many rookies have just grabbed grabbed the league by the balls, for the lack of a better metaphor, and just been like, hey, like we're here and we're gonna make some noise. Um, pretty damn impressive to see. So let's bring in the other two that have also had massive starts. Sal Stewart for the Reds, can't get that kid out. He was, I think, 2 for 2, 2 walks today. Just a hitting machine. He's got a bomb already, I think, in game 2 against the Red Sox. Kevin McGonigal, I mean, sort of opens up his season with a 4 for 5 effort with 2 doubles. Nothing big there, but I just kidding. But these four, their weekends have just been like, dang. So I ask you, who's had the best start out of these rookies?
It's hard to pick because they've all done such incredible things. I mean, for me, if I have to pick one guy, it's DeLauder. And it's for me, it's not even just what he's done, but it's how important that is to that lineup. Um, that Tigers lineup has been, sorry, that Guardians lineup. I'm thinking about McGonigal. That Guardians lineup has been lacking a legitimate bat to complement J Ram forever, pretty much forever. And he is showing that he is that bat um, that gives J Ram finally a Robin to his Batman. Um, I think McGonigal is a great piece for the Tigers. I think Weatherholt's a great piece for the Cardinals, but I look at DeLauder to me is the guy who's going to have the biggest impact, and already has had the biggest impact because without him on that tear, it would have been a long weekend for them.
Yeah. And Curtis, yes, hot weekends we'll see in 30 days. And that's
Yeah,
a the absolute fair point, right?
100%.
Like teams will make adjustments. For me, it's Sal Stewart on a Reds team that needs some offense. They need some help there. Um, he's 5 for 9. I mean, you can't get this kid out right now. 5 for 9, 2 doubles, a home run. He's walking all over the time, and those were stats before today. So he went 2 for 2 today. So he's 7 for 11. I mean, yikes! And that Reds team, if they want to take another step forward, this is the kid that they need for sure. I mean, Gino Suarez with a massive tank to kind of take the bull by the horns there to beat the Red Sox today. But it's Sal Stewart for me right now. Be kind of the same reasons that you picked the Lauder is the Reds need some consistent bat there, and over the weekend he was the consistency for them. So I'll take either one. I'll take any of these four. Heck, I'll even be greedy. I'll take all four. But goodness gracious, it's Sal Stewart for me for sure.
Yeah, I mean, they're all tremendous, and what I'm most impressed by with all of them is, the moment's not too big. Their approaches are rock solid. Like, they know the zone. They know how to handle an at bat. They're all very quick to the ball. They can handle the fastball. They can handle the breaking pitch. These guys look like they're 5-year veterans. In the batter's box, and they're kids. Like, these kids come up with a level of confidence and plate discipline and understanding of the game that I don't remember most rookies coming up with in the past. Most rookies came up when they were raw and they were just trying to figure it out. These guys come up and they look like polished veterans.
Yeah. Do you think, now kind of bringing in a current topic, do you think that ABS has in the lower levels for what, 3 or 4 years now, has helped these kids develop their knowledge of the strike zone?
I mean, I don't think it hurts. I certainly don't think it hurts. I also think that the training regimen these guys go through with the colored balls to pick up colors as they come across the plate, and the skinny bats and the different types of balls, like, these guys do so much in terms of training their eyes to be able to see the ball, pick up the ball, capture spin, as well as the machines that simulate anybody you want. Like, you're going to find most of these guys, and I know it's true for Kevin McGonigal because they talked about it. These guys are absolute like batting cage rats. They're in there all the time, fine tuning their swing, doing their tee work, doing their soft toss, seeing live pitching. I think for these guys, it's a different level of training and a different level of focus, and that's what makes these kids so good right out of the gate because they're training like they belong. They're not
Yeah.
training to get there; they're training like they're already there.
Yeah, that's a great point. Ryan says, I know I'm biased, but JJ long term will be the best of the group. He's been nuclear at all levels he's played. I don't disagree with that. I mean, showing that he has flexibility already
Yeah,
to move positions and have it not affect his offensive game, I think is incredible. How many times have we seen players move position and it affects them at the plate?
big time.
Yeah.
I mean,
So,
we watch Mookie Betts when he transitioned to shortstop struggle.
yep. Yeah. I
I
mean,
mean,
it
it's hard.
happens. Right. So, I mean, just absolutely impressive out of all four of these guys. Um, it's it's going to make the rookie of the year race pretty dang interesting if any of these guys can maintain this type of success. I mean, even if it's a step down, it's still going to be a damn successful season. So, pretty exciting stuff to watch right out of the gate.
Yeah, it's wild. And Ryan, I think your opinion is a shared one with scouts, people around baseball. Like, the tools of JJ are off the chart, and I think that he's the guy that people expect to have the highest ceiling. But it's nice to see this whole crop of young guys come up together, and certainly make it interesting. But I do think that JJ Weatherholt, when you look at the total package, might be the most rounded of this group, and probably has the greatest long term success.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a good one. Jordan Walker, third base of the outfield, lost his bat in the process. That's a good example of that for sure. So we just had to talk to Rafael Devers about moving positions, and he lost his bat. So there's that as well. But yeah. Anyways, all right, let's just bring in the fifth rookie here. Owen Casey today, first MLB homer, just happens to be a walk-off against the Rockies. The Marlins sweep the Rockies. They take care of business. They take care of who they're supposed to be. Um, are we believing in Owen Casey also kind of joining this group of four and the Marlins being legit contenders? Or is it just, opening series against the Rockies or a little bit of both?
I mean, starting against the Rockies certainly helps. Um, but I mean, I've been talking all offseason about Owen Casey. When the Cubs traded him, I feel like this is going to be the trade the Cubs regret. Um, I think he's going to be a high ceiling guy long term. I think that he was their future right fielder for a long time. I think the Marlins are very happy to have him, and he's showing you why. So I am all in on Owen Casey being a legitimate contender for the Rookie of the Year, and I'm cautiously optimistic about the Marlins. I don't think they're going to be terrible. I think they've got a ton of young talent that's still trying to figure their way out, but I do think they're going to be a fun team to watch. They're going to be like the A's. They're going to be that team that you know that they are a lot of fun to watch. They do win a lot of games, but like they're not quite there yet. But they're definitely worth watching because they're young and they're exciting, and they've got some serious studs there.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm all in about watching them as much as I can this year. Um, and this home run, like although it was a fence scraper, it barely got out, it was a rocket. Like it was on a line the entire way there. Um, it was just a great swing. Do I believe in the Marlins? I want to. So I'm with you. Like I want to believe in them, but I think they're still a year or two away. Let these kids develop a little bit more. Let Kyle Stowers get back. They're doing this without their biggest bat in the lineup. So um, it's going to be quite impressive to see if this Marlins team can take another step forward and stay together. Let's let's call it how it is. Like they also got to stay together. That's not their fault. That's the front office. So we'll see what they do there. But I like this team. They're going to be fun. Like you said, they're my A's. Even though the A's got manhandled by the Blue Jays in this opening season, I'm still watching the A's. Like they're going to figure it out. Shea Langoliers is a beast, by the way, absolute beast. If it wasn't for him, the A's would have looked like would have looked like the Rockies this weekend. But the A's will come around. But just like I think the Marlins are, they're just a couple years away from doing that. So yeah, Ryan, this is absolutely fair. I'm going to take this opportunity to complain about the blackout situation that is still killing my love for baseball. It's getting old. I get it, man. Like even this weekend for me, I'm not nearly blacked out as many as you. But if I'm not on my Wi-Fi, they kick me out of the Reds, which is crazy. I still don't understand that. But yeah, I don't have the Orioles, Nationals, Braves in this area, and I don't get it on my YouTube TV either. So I don't understand that. Your 9 markets is nuts. I can't get over that. I really can't. Like you stuck watching what the Padres, the Mariners, the Red Sox, everybody else you're blacked out. And that's if they're not playing one of the teams that
right.
God,
yeah,
man,
the extreme
crazy.
coastal teams only, but God forbid they're playing a team in the Midwest, you're out.
Yeah,
It just seems crazy.
He only gets West Coast against West Coast, East Coast against East Coast, or East versus West Coast.
Yep.
That's it.
Yeah, there's nothing in the Midwest, which is brutal.
Wow, man. I mean, if there are 2 divisions to not watch, it's those 2. But I mean, it's still that's not right. That's crazy, man.
Yeah, it's mind-boggling to me that you're blocked out of that many markets. Like that just it doesn't make sense because there's no way you're close enough to any of them for it to really make sense.
Well, look at the Mariners this weekend. It was like opening night was on Apple TV, then it was on MLB TV, then now it's on Peacock, and Mariners fans everywhere is like, where do I watch my team? Like I have to get 85 streaming services just to watch one game. Oh, innings 1 through 3 are going to be on Peacock, 4 through 5 will be on Netflix, and 7 through 9 will be on MLB TV. Like it's getting ridiculous, man. Like I get it. We've talked about teams needing the airtime. You have to find airtime somewhere. It's just not to be had on quote unquote regular TV because networks just aren't carrying baseball. I get that. And you just can't. There's too much volume of baseball to have it all aired. I get that, but they gotta figure that out. Yeah, Ryan, I live in a state with no MLB team, and it's insane. And that part I just don't get. I really don't. It's absolutely crazy. I hate it.
It's mind-boggling. I don't understand it. I'm blocked out of one market only. It's the Red Sox. Fine. I can't imagine being blocked out of more than that. Like that's just I don't. I would lose my mind too. I watch so much baseball out of my market that if I was blacked out of that many, I don't know what I'd do.
Yeah, I I don't get it. Like I said, if you want to black somebody out, then fine. Just pick one. Pick one market. That's it. Just one. Not 9. 9 is asinine. That's crazy. Can't wrap my mind around it. All right. Walk-off hits in the first 2 games for the Blue Jays by Andres Gimenez and Ernie Clement. Are the Blue Jays this good or a product of the A's or yes?
I mean, I think both are true. We know the A's pitching is thin. We know that bullpen is also thin. But the Blue Jays are really good. This is one of the one or two best teams in the American League, and they're supposed to beat teams like this. So I do think they are that good. I do think the A's pitching is shaky, as we know, and that those two together are a bad combination, and give the Blue Jays a chance to win those games. But I will say this Blue Jays team they're deep, 1 through 9. They keep coming at you. Jimenez and Clement, they're just grinders. They just wear pitchers out. Put together good at bats.
Yep, I'm with you. The Blue Jays team is deep, but I mean, it does say something for the A's that the Blue Jays still had to walk them off. Like the A's were in those games. So they played them tough, but yeah, the Blue Jays are good. Like a win's a win. Doesn't matter if you win 16-1 or 2-1, right? A win is a win, counts the same. So yeah, I think it's both. Like I said a little bit earlier, the A's are a couple of years away. But I think the Blue Jays, they are good, but I'm not sold. Yes, dominating starts from Gosman and Cease. What was 11 Ks for Gosman, 12 for Cease. I mean, they were straight dealing. When Yasevich gets back, if he's any shell of what he was at the end of last year, those top three could be potentially the best top three in baseball, or at least towards the top there. I'm not quite sold on the Blue Jays being as good as last year, but we'll see. I think they are still at the top of the AL, don't get me wrong, but I don't know quite yet if I'm ready to put the crown on their heads. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, I think they've got more competition around them this year than they had last year for sure.
Yes.
That AL East is much improved, and I think that they're going to have their hands full just with their own division.
Yeah, I agree. All right. We'll get into the ABS. Can we have announcers stop asking for the random challenge on a 1-1 count in the third innings, please? Like enough already. Every borderline pitch, they're like, oh, they should challenge. Oh, they should challenge. Like, okay, we get it. The ABS is new. You're trying to explain. I don't mind the announcers explaining it to the viewers, right? This first week, explain it for the people tuning in. I understand it, but can we just stop with them being like, oh man, yeah, they should have challenged that. Oh, we should have challenged that. Just let them play the game. Just let it go, please. And my question is, how is it actually going?
I mean, I think so far so good. I mean, it hasn't been a distraction. I mean, we saw the Red Sox get burned by it when they misused it a little bit, with that man behind the plate who was just utterly abysmal per the usual. Um, it yeah, it I shared something to our story earlier today. I want to say it was the 10 oldest umpires in baseball. They're losing like 69% of their challenges. The youngest 10 are losing like 39%. And what they're kind of tracking by umpire, but also by grouping. And you have certain umpires that are at a very, very high rate of overturn, and some that are at a very, very low rate. And yeah, I'm with you, Ryan. I mean, CB had a terrible game for the Red Sox and Reds. He looked foolish. Trevor Story and Alex Cora got tossed for CB just not doing what he's supposed to do, which is just get an appeal, like ask for help. But at the same time, like he was terrible behind the plate and had a bunch of calls overturned. And I loved Salvi, Michael. I loved Salvi basically schooling that one umpire on the low strike.
Yeah.
Like every time the ball was low, he's like, "Nope, challenge it. Nope, challenge it," and he won every single one of them.
Yeah. That was pretty awesome because Salvi's just like, yep, yep, challenge, yep, challenge. And I think the announcer was even like, "Well, look at Salvi just taking this guy to school right now." Like, the CB Buckner thing for me, man. Like, I get it. Change can be hard, right? And I understand it. It can't be easy for these veteran umpires that have done this for 20 plus years to start doing this. But it was the reaction that he gave to, was it Suarez's second challenge in the same at bat, where he was like, he looked annoyed Like, dude, you are a professional umpire. You cannot show expression. You are not supposed to do that. Like, that's unprofessional in my eyes. Like, you can't look annoyed that someone asked for a challenge. Like, I get it. It probably isn't easy to be questioned like that, back to back pitches. But you can't do that. That's a no no in my
Yeah.
eyes. And is CB the new scapegoat for umpires? Angel Hernandez is gone. Is CB the new guy?
Oh yeah, CB is absolutely like public enemy number one to players and fans when it comes to umpiring. And I will say, like, Trevor Story and Alex Cora had every reason to come out after the game and blast CB, and they kind of sidestepped the issue. But I mean, the whole world saw how bad CB Buckner is the other day, and it's going to be a long season for CB Buckner because it's going to be like that every game for him. He is going to continue to lose, 7, 8 out of 10 challenges because he's just not good. And I get like some of these are ticky tack and that's tough, but at the same time, he consistently misses. And his report card that came out from that game, he was like an 88%, one of the lowest they've seen in a while. He's
Yes.
just terrible.
Do what you want, but stay off CB's lawn.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ryan says CB has always been so arrogant, but being so consistently awful, or for being so consistently awful. Yeah.
And that's the worst part about CB Buckner is the fact that like you can't ask him a question because he immediately takes it as a challenge and then throws you out. Like you
Right.
can't even ask him like, "Hey, where was that? Hey, was that like?" He gets mad when you even ask him a question, and he won't defend himself. He just throws you out.
Yeah.
Like he's one of those guys that has this like wicked bad like hero syndrome or god complex, whatever you want to call it,
Hmm.
where like he cannot be challenged. And the minute you ask him a question, you're gone. Like you're just you punched your ticket out of the game because he will not talk to you.
Yeah. Curtis, right here. I'm the only CB that matters.
Yep,
Love it.
I like
Yes.
it.
Yeah. Well, you can go behind there. We'll call it CB Butler. We'll have him behind the plate now. Um, but yeah, I mean, Mike, this is interesting. You think they should up it to 3? Do you think they should, or you think they should leave it at 2?
Um, I like it being at 2 because you're not going to use it an absurd number of times. Because I think if you had more, you would challenge a lot more pitches and take more risks. I like it at 2. I do feel like there should be like an extra challenge, like whether that's like in the ninth inning you get one back, or I feel like there should be a way to earn one back because like we saw the Red Sox get burned with it, and that wasn't their fault. CB sucked, um, so they felt the need to challenge pitches. But I do like having fewer because they are more careful with how they use them. But I do feel like if these umpires continue to be this bad, you're going to see teams that are out of challenges late in the game when it matters.
Yeah, I mean, you do get one back in extra innings if you go there.
Yep.
But I've been watching the Diamondbacks play the Dodgers, and Diaz challenged 2 pitches in 2 outings because they just had one to burn. And he's
Yeah.
like, I don't think it's a strike, but hey, what the hell? Like, let's
Yep.
give her a go because they had one extra. I think 2 is okay for now. Maybe certain umpires should get 3. Like Buckner's behind the plate, you get 3 challenges. But if there's an umpire that is consistently ranked high on his report card, I mean, we have the stats. Why not? Why not do it that way? If this is a highly graded umpire, your team gets 2 challenges. That's it. If he is below 92% on average, your teams get 3.
10.
Still wouldn't be enough, but yeah. But something like that. I mean, would that create incentive for the umpires to get in the zone?
I mean, it would, but the union would never let you call out umpires like that. So you'd never be able to do it. But I do like the idea of like if this guy's got a track record, you should have more because you're going to need them. It incentivizes the umpires to be better. But at the end of the day, like these guys, these umpires don't care. Like they're doing a job, they're getting paid, they're doing their thing. They don't care. Like CB is going to get ripped in every ballpark he's at, and I think he's just used to that.
Yeah.
There's no incentive for these guys to get better.
No. Michael says if you're out of challenges by the ninth, you get one back for it. Well, so I think that's part of the strategy that teams are going to have to work out, right?
Mm.
Hey, listen, we have one during the game that Roman Anthony, you can use. Trevor Story, you can use. I don't want anybody else taking a challenge. Like, I'm sure there's some type of discussion before the game that, like, hey, Roman, you have the green light. Trevor, you have the green light. Just for example, I'm saying. I'm sure teams have talked about that, right? Roman Anthony's knowledge of the strike zone is good enough. Was he wrong a couple times the other day? Yes. But was he right? Also, yes. So I don't know if getting one back in the ninth just because your team made it to the ninth is the answer there. Like, I get it. It could be a crucial moment in the game, but your team also has to recognize that in the fourth inning, the fifth inning, the sixth inning, like that's part of the strategy is making sure you have one in the ninth. And that's why I like it, but you should be using these for the egregious ones. The ones you are 100% sure are the opposite call of what was made, right? Right down the middle for ball one. Yeah, okay, that's a challenge, right? Or 6 inches outside, called a strike. Okay, that's a challenge. These hitters know the strike zone. The ones that are borderline on a 1-1 pitch, don't ask for a challenge. Just let it ride and just save one for the ninth inning. So that's my view on it.
Yeah, and I'm in the same boat as you. Like, I like the two because I don't want them challenging every little ticky tack ball a half inch off the plate. Like, at some point you got to swing the bat, guys. And you can't if your whole strategy is to hope the umpire sees it your way, well then you deserve the K. That's how I see it. If you're not going to take control of your at bat, then that's your problem.
Yeah,
So I'm with you. I like the two because you do have to manage them.
Yeah, and I don't want to see back to back challenges because there was a game I was watching last night. It took like 20 seconds for the ABS system to load on the scoreboard. So we're like sitting there waiting and it's just spinning and spinning and spinning and then it counts down 3, 2, 1 and then it gave us a challenge. And I'm like, man, if we have another one, we're going to be sitting here for another minute waiting for it to load up. So most of them have been quick. I think that was just kind of like a unique situation, but yeah, I think two is it. Joseph said 2 challenges, innings 1 through 8, one more challenge, inning 9th and beyond. So instead of getting the extra one in extras, you get the extra one in the 9th and you carry that with you into extras. I mean, maybe. I don't mind that. Brandon says gotta be like football. Be responsible with the challenges as well. Yeah, the egregious calls that the opposite outcome is true.
The hard part with the ninth inning challenge is if the home team's winning, there's no chance they're going to get to. I mean, they could on the mound, I guess, but they're less likely to be able to use that challenge they get in the ninth. Whereas in extra innings, like everybody's going to be hyper focused.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I like it how it is right now. Let's kind of get through 2026, see how teams are going to figure. Look, the analytical department's probably all over this like fly on crap. Let's be honest, right? They're going to be like, all right, where are we the most successful? Where are the umpires? What innings are the umpires the most inconsistent? Like they're going to have this charted down to the pitch, wind direction, temperature. I mean, let's be honest, right? So it's going to be interesting to see how teams use these going forward. But for a first inaugural weekend, I think they were fine. Listen, this has been in place in not Major League Baseball per se, but the system, right? It has been in minor league baseball for 4 years or so, maybe even more. They've had it in spring training the last 2 years. So the players understand for the most part how to use it. It's just going to be when and who gets to use it at this point. So we'll see. It would be cool if we could just get the umps to understand the strike zone at an acceptable level, but no. I mean, facts, Ryan. Facts.
I mean, it's a combination of these pitchers throw absurd stuff. These guys are trying to call, but at the same time, like some of these calls are just brutal. Like there's no reason you should be missing by that much.
Yeah, it's almost like the Max Scherzer clip always gets me with CB Buckner. The coin flip one where there's a ball like pitched and
I
Max
love it.
Scherzer just goes like it's so great.
Yep.
It's so great, and it's so true on some of these guys. But man,
But I mean that's how the
nuts.
players feel with CB Buckner. You don't know what you're going to get. There's no
No,
consistency.
you really don't. So it's wild. But I think overall, first weekend, it was it was acceptable. I think it was fine. It worked out fine. It's just teams are going to have to iron out when is the acceptable time to use them, um, strategy wise. So, but yeah,
Yeah, I'm good with it. I like it. It is not as big a distraction as I thought. I was not for it at first. I did not like the idea of, fully taking the human element out, but you're not, you can't challenge every call. So I like the way it's working so far, but I will be curious as the season goes on, like what we really do learn from it.
yeah, Brandon, this is a great point. The other tough part is when we grew up, baseball having mistakes. We were fine with baseball having mistakes. Now we want everything perfect. It's a box that we opened up that I think needed to, but it's opened up a bunch of other things as well. Um, yeah, and honestly, we kind of talked about it with our out of left field questions when you brought up the Armando Galarraga perfect game. That was Pandora's box that was opened because MLB was like, we can't have this again. We need something in place to protect history, really. And now, to your point, Brandon, it's kind of snowballed, and now we want to micromanage everything, right? I think they had replay on home runs just at the first thing they had replay on was just home runs, right? And it was only if it was
Yep.
fair or foul. And then it kind of morphed into, all right, let's see if it hit the railing and came back in, or hit the yellow and went out, or it kind of went to that, and then it went to replay at every base, and now it's this. So yeah, I mean, I get it. And this is also a great point, Joseph. I think it's exaggerated because pitcher stuff is so out of this world now that umps rely on the catcher location and glove location due to not having full sight of the ball. And I think that's fair. That's why you see all the catchers snap it back into the zone, right? They are trying to fool the umpire's eye. So, yeah. And Curtis, another great point. Don't be surprised if the umpires union says something about this because you're right. It is in a way, it is showing them up, right? Yes, it's quote unquote professionally done in most cases. You don't have players like glaring at the umpire and like yelling at them or tapping their helmet right in front of their face. Like they're doing it respectfully. Thank you. But in a way, it still is kind of showing them up. So, does the umpires union have a problem with this going forward, or are their hands kind of tied because they signed off on it?
I mean, I think the umpires union's hands are tied, um, because they did agree to it. They didn't have a choice. I do wonder if the umpires union will push back on it being on the screen. Do you really need
Mm,
to show how far they missed? I'm wondering if that would be the pushback. Is let's not show the world how far he missed by. Let's just confirm the call. Like, do we need the picture to show that it was actually like down the middle? Can we just confirm that it was actually a strike? I can see the union saying something about that, maybe not making it so public, but at the same time, like in terms of transparency, like the fans should know, the players should know, like this is where it was.
yeah. Brian says AI will call all plays within 5 years, and I'm not sure I'm into it. I'd rather bitch about CV. I'm with you. And the look of baseball, imagine if you took umpires completely off the field. I mean, baseball has had umpires on the field for 150 years. What would that look like with just a batter and catcher? Like on TV, the optics of it, all you see is a catcher and batter with no umpire standing. But know how weird that would look?
It would be weird. Um, yeah, I mean, I can't imagine that the umps will ever go away. I could see you getting into a situation where you have fewer umps, because you've got sensors down the foul lines and you can determine if a ball's fair or foul. And but like, you still need an umpire out there to like control the game. Um, so I don't see a situation where like the umpires are ever gone, but I could see there being fewer of them because you can handle some of what they do. You with this technology.
Well, and listen, AI can't even determine baseball stats. I don't need them to try to interpret baseball rules, right? We have so many people that Google our trivia questions and they get it completely wrong because Google AI just completely messes their world up because it doesn't do well with baseball stats. I can't even imagine having Google AI try to interpret the baseball rule book and put it into play with a situation that happened. We see something new with baseball every game we watch. There is a new play that we have never seen before every day. There's no way that AI would ever be able to interpret baseball rules with what's on the field. So I think you're right. I think umpires will always have a place in the game because you need somebody to at least interpret the rules. Maybe not make calls. Maybe balls and strikes does become fully automated at some point, but you need an umpire there to interpret the rules. So,
Yep. Yeah, and I've always loved the fact that baseball has that human element to it. Always has, always will. At least, hopefully, always will. Um, and I don't want to see that go away. I do understand that there's this need for perfection, as we've talked about already, which I don't think is realistic. Perfection is I think it's a myth. Even the AI and all that won't be perfect. It'll be closer, but it won't be perfect.
yeah.
I would love to see the human element not leave the game because like back to the point about Maddox.
Yeah,
Um,
I was just going to bring that up.
I mean, his strike zone was so wide you could drive a Buick through it back in the day. I mean, go back and watch some clips of the '90s with Levon Hernandez and Greg Maddox and those guys. They were throwing balls a foot off the plate. They were getting calls for it. Felt like
Mm-hmm.
I would have loved to have seen ABS back then because and players just kind of accepted it. Like there wasn't this scream, this cry to fix the umpires. It was just how the game worked. And we heard Traxel say it. Like you would go into a start, look who the umpire was, and you're like, okay, well, I know he's got a low zone, so I'm going to throw low today. I know this guy doesn't call the pitches outside. I got to go in. Like you would game plan for the umpire, knowing that they were not all the same.
Yeah. Yeah. That element is pretty much completely gone at this point. But yeah, Ryan, you think that the zone will at least be completely AI called a virtual 18 by 36 box? Possibly.
Maybe
That's at
could be.
some point. Yeah. Um, if it's not on the screen, everyone will share their game day app showing that it was, and the scorecard will show. I mean, yes, I think that's to Harrison's point where they shouldn't show the umpires up like right after the call. I I get that. I'm kind of for that, but yeah, there's still going to be ways to find out how bad they missed them, but it's just not going to be right in the moment,
Right.
right? In front of 30,000 people. Yes, some people might have the game day app downloaded on their phone, but I mean, what's that? Maybe 100 tops if they're at the game. They're not usually watching the game day app on their phone while at the game. So, I mean, I don't know. We'll see. It's the first weekend, but I think overall it was fine. Um, it's just going to be interesting to see how teams change their strategy going forward because a few teams have been burnt by not having challenges late in the game. So that will change. They'll figure it out for sure. I'm a male CB at McDonald's app because ABS is going to ruin that dude over the next 161 games.
It won't be good for him.
Yeah. Oh, did I read it wrong?
He will become the lightning rod for sure.
Oh, yeah. Brandon says also the way catchers started framing the pitch when I played, that was considered bush league. Yeah, if you moved your glove that much, like I remember, it was just all how you caught it. So when I was a catcher, you caught an inside pitch, you caught it like this, right? So you caught it with your hand kind of cupped in. On an outside pitch, you kind of caught it and turned your wrist in, but like I wasn't going from the ground up and snapping it back into the strike zone or back towards the strike zone. That was considered bush league. You're completely right. So
Yeah, it was just a kind of a snap of the wrist just to roll it back. But yeah,
yeah,
we didn't do anything crazy to frame pitches.
no, yeah, it
And
was just
umpires would be like, "Son, don't do that." If you tried.
Right. So like for us, like it was that horseshoe. This is how
Yep.
you caught it in the strike zone. And you would just tilt your wrist in as you caught it. That's all you would
Yep.
do to frame the pitch. Um yeah, and you did everything to keep your glove inside the strike zone. Yep, 1000% with you.
Yep.
Yeah. None of this snapping back to the middle stuff. It's crazy. But I mean, that's not going to go away because we see Red Sox Reds game, right? Red Sox are out of challenges by the third inning. You got to have your catchers keep doing that because they're going to steal some strikes.
Yep. And
So,
it's also the reason you've seen more catchers interference than ever. We
yep.
saw Contreras get his arm broken. I mean, these catchers are like absolutely pushing the limit of what they can do to try to steal a strike.
Yeah, I forgot about that Contreras one, dude. He
That was
almost caught
bad.
that ball in front of home plate. That's
It
how
was, I
far.
mean, he reached way out to get it.
I saw the video for that and I was like, dude, you are literally inside the batter right now.
Yep.
How are you that close to the plate? Oh man, that was crazy.
Well, and he starts like right on their heel. Like he is so close.
Yeah. Yeah, and this is the other thing, Ryan, that blows my mind too.
Yeah.
Like my first reaction is to just try to catch the ball. Like these guys have such good soft hands that they're still able to catch 101, 102 and still frame it back to the strike zone and not drop it or miss it completely. But man, it's crazy. Um and this is also fair, Brandon, but I feel like that's why ABS has become a thing. They've pushed the limit too far. Yeah, I don't disagree. But my first reaction is don't die.
Yeah, fair.
Yeah, that would be mine for sure. But all right, we'll move on from this and we'll go to here, Harrison. Any opening day surprises for you?
I mean, I think for me, opening day surprises, the Red Sox offense looks weak. I think that will change, but they look weak. And they've got nothing from anybody outside of Roman Anthony and Wilyer Abreu, really. Like those, Trevor Story hit the home run, but otherwise he did nothing. He took an 0 for 5 today with a bunch of Ks. That offense looks weak. I don't think it will be that way, but they were definitely soft to start off.
They seem like they're missing it.
Yeah.
They don't have the it factor right now. It's weird. They're like
No, and
kind of like all disjointed.
well, and you saw Jaron Duran get picked off today. Like I don't know what's going on, but and yesterday was a mess. You came back and tied that game, then gave it away. Cora's run Weissert out there twice, and he's getting lit. He's gotten lit up. I feel like we're just back to the days of the 500 Red Sox making bad decisions and not hitting when you need to. So like that to me was a bit of a surprise. The A's are a bit of a surprise. I thought they would muscle more offense than they did. Jacob Wilson looks lost up there. He's got what 5 Ks in his first 10 at bats. It took him almost 100 at bats last year to get 5 Ks.
Yeah, he's hit
He
some
can't hit
rockets.
anything.
He's hit some rockets that he got robbed on this weekend too, though. So I mean, like
He did.
he's a lot of guys seem to be stuck in between. Cal Raleigh lost at the plate. No
Yeah.
idea where that dude is.
Yeah, and
But
for me,
kind of
with
simple.
Jacob Wilson, it's for a guy who's such a contact guy, it's the Ks.
Yeah.
That isn't his typical game. Now, granted, he faced Gosman and Cease, who throw just ungodly moving stuff. So, I mean, I give him a bit of a break for that. And then I think when you look at when you kind of go over to the National League, um, the Pirates, I think they've played the Mets tough. They got some really bad luck. Um, and they've just not been able to come up with a hit when they need it, which I think has been the story of, of their last 20 years.
Yeah.
But and I
They
will
did
also say that the NL West is kind of a mess. They
kind of.
other than the Dodgers, they all look terrible.
Yeah, what is it? 3-0 and everyone else is like 0-3 or something like that. It's
Well,
crazy.
and I think the Giants managed like one run in that whole 3-game series against the Yankees. Like it was awful.
Yeah,
The
that
Diamondbacks were punchless. The Giants were punchless. The Padres were, I don't know what to call the Padres. And then there's the Rockies, which we don't expect much out of them. But the NL West looks like it's ugly.
yeah, for me, my biggest one is the Giants. I know they're playing the Yankees and they face some tough pitching, but no offense. Zilch. I mean, I don't think they have anybody. That was kind of the biggest shock to me. The Pirates did manage to win a game today, so that was nice. It took them extras to get. I think it was extras. I think top of the tenth.
Extras, yeah.
Yep. But like you said, they played the Mets tough, so I don't think they're far off. Yeah, Michael said it back there. Skeen's kind of getting touched up because O'Neill can't track a fly ball in the
Oh,
outfield. Then
terrible.
losing one in the sun, that was kind of a shell shock. Um, I just, yeah, flat cheese. I'm kind of with you. A lot of the WBC guys have been having trouble kind of coming back, um, just kind of flat. And I mean, I kind of get it, right? The WBC was such a hyped event. The energy level was here, and every game had so much pressure
Yep.
to it that when you get back to the regular season, it's like, all right, here we go. We're back to the grind now. Like it is kind of a letdown. Like, let's be honest. So yeah. Um, yeah, Cal Raleigh did get a hit today. I think he got a double late in the game today. So finally, Griffin Jacks blew both of his save ops so far this year. That's pretty, yeah, that's kind of a
Yeah.
shock.
Not good.
And Curtis, that wasn't awful to me. No, I mean, your Yankees look good, man. And they're not even at full strength. I said it on Thursday. That's scary to me. You still have your two biggest arms, arguably, coming back in June. That scares the pants off me. Really does. Um, but I think we talked about it earlier. The surprise to me is not just that our rookies having a great opening weekend, that five of them are. And not just good weekends, they're having like career weekends in their MLB debuts. It's pretty remarkable to see. That's kind of surprising.
I mean, they didn't just play well; like they took over series. Like
Right, that's what I
they were
mean.
different. They were difference makers. It was
Yeah.
wild.
Yep. Texas Rangers, do we want to bring them up? Kind of going in and doing all right against Philly.
How about Bryce Harper getting booed by the Phillies fans today? Did you see that?
That deservedly so.
He caved to the bases loaded, like bases loaded, nobody out in the sixth. He K'd on a nasty curveball Mackenzie Gore threw. And he heard it from the fans. He's 1 for 11 to start the year. He looks lost up there, and he heard it from the fans in a big way.
Do you think he asked that of Philly?
I don't think anybody wants him. I think the problem with I look at Harper, and this is a bad comparison. It's the only one I can make. I look at Harper kind of like Trevor Bauer, um, incredibly talented guy, but he's a pain in the ass. Um, I think he's a good teammate. All kind of stories are that he's a good teammate, but I think he's a handful. I think he's. I've said it many times on the show. He is immature. He's impulsive. He's not a leader. He's a guy who shows up, plays baseball, and that's it. And I think for the money they're paying him, they're expecting more than that from him. And I do believe that he's not a young guy anymore. Like he's beginning to advance, and I think you're seeing him slow down a little bit. Um, and Ryan, yeah, the comment of not elite. I've never been a huge Bryce Harper guy. I think he's a good ball player, but like to me, he was never elite. He was really good, but I don't think he had this persona like he was elite, and it's probably because he was on the cover of Sports Illustrated at 16. But he's never been that guy for me. He's always been a guy who's just really good.
Is there any front office besides the Padres that would take Bryce Harper on because they, I guess, lack a better word, could control him, control that ego, or keep it under check? Is there any front office in the league that could possibly do that?
I think there are certain managers that could do it. Um, I think Rob Thompson's kind of a lame duck there. I think that everybody expected he was going to get fired last year, and he didn't. Um, I think Harper does whatever the hell he wants, whenever the hell he wants, and that's kind of just the feeling I get from that camp. But I do think there's managers like AJ Hinch that could handle him. I think you put him on a team like the Yankees, the guys around him would handle him. They would shut him up quickly, and control him. I think a team like the Dodgers, I think being around players like that would absolutely mellow him. Um, but I think in Philadelphia, he just kind of has like this unchecked power and does whatever the hell he wants.
Yeah. Um, Giants would take Harper for 5 minutes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean they took Raffy Devers, and we were all like, "Wow, what are they doing?" And
Eh,
it hasn't really worked out great for them yet. It might, but
yeah.
hasn't been great. I mean, immediately out of the gate, he pissed off Will Clark by not showing up to practice.
Yeah.
Like
I
The
mean,
Giants have their own set of problems.
yeah, Rafi had a decent year with them. I mean, I think it was like 26 and 90 something, maybe, or
Yeah, I
80
mean
something. So he was okay, but
his numbers will be down because that ballpark doesn't play to his strength.
right.
That right center gap is forever, and it's going to zap his power numbers. And he's got no speed, so like triples don't mean anything to him.
Yeah.
Um, and defensively, like he's been a project, but
Yeah.
he always was.
Yeah, fair. Flat cheese. Yeah, the Mets would. They would have a collection of talent, not a team. Throw him in. Why the hell not? I mean, that's fair.
Fair.
Um, yeah. As soon as I said the Padres comment, Michael was like, "Harper seems like a good fit for the Padres." Hashtag
God, that
dumpster fire.
that'd be a disaster. But I
Um,
do think there's a few managers in baseball that could handle him. But Bryce is the kind of guy who I think needs tough love. Like he needs somebody to just smack him upside the head when he gets out of control and he gets out of line. The fact that he stood up and basically bitched out the commissioner in the clubhouse over a topic that wasn't really part of the discussion, that impulsiveness just isn't a good look for him or the team.
yeah, and then
But
to
like nobody
follow that
stopped
up,
him.
right, and then to follow that up with blowing up Dombrowski for a comment that was true. And he wasn't calling Bryce Harper out. All he said
Oh,
was he didn't have the elite season we're used to seeing.
yep.
That's not calling him out directly. That's just, hey, he just didn't produce the way we're used to. He had a
And
down
th-
year.
and there's no way Bryce Harper can look at the stat sheet and say, "Oh yeah, like I delivered this year." Like he didn't. He didn't have a great year,
Yeah.
and he's off to
Yes.
a terrible start. It's clearly in his head.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm with you. I don't see him moving. It was just kind of a hypothetical because it sounds like, if the Philly fans keep getting on him, he's gonna want to move. He's
He's
that type of persona. He's gonna want to move.
he's not the guy that can handle the tough stretches, the not being idolized. He'll crumble. He'll crumble if he's feeling the pressure.
Hear me out, Harrison. I have an idea.
Yep.
Let's fire Alex Cora. We'll hire Jonathan Papelbon as our new manager, and we'll bring Harper to the Red Sox.
Fight Club every day.
Oh yeah, man. Let's go. Bring it.
Yep. Fight Club.
Well, and Brandon, this is fair too. But it's
I
Phillies.
mean,
They boo Santa.
they do. Philly's different.
Well,
Harper's the Jake Paul of baseball.
yeah.
Oh my god, that's pretty good.
But I mean, I think at this point, Harrison, your comparison is fair. Like he is kind of Trevor Bowering himself, if that's a verb. I just made it a verb,
It just
but
became one.
it just became one.
He's bowering himself.
Yeah, he's kind of talking himself out of potential future opportunities. Like if he wants to get out of Philly, like you said, kind of like Castellanos, no one's gonna want him. So
Yeah.
I
I don't
I'm with you.
I don't think a lot of clubs view Bryce Harper as an elite level player. I think a lot of clubs view him as a good player, bit of a headache, not worth it. And I think that's why when he was a free agent, it was really just Philly. Like he didn't have a lot of teams banging down the door for him. It was just Philly.
That's a fair point. Yeah, fair point. Hey, nobody talks about Fight Club. Yeah, sorry,
I
Joey.
mean,
Moving
right.
on. Moving on.
But
Um,
if Papelbon's the manager or anywhere near the team, that's what it's going to be.
yeah, I love it. I love it. Any other opening day surprises that kind of stick out to you, or opening weekend, I should say? Let's not limit it to just opening day.
I mean, I think the flip side to the Giants is the Yankees pitching looked great. Fried was nasty. Schlittler is disgusting.
Filthy.
He's
Schlittler, man.
disgusting.
Oh my god. I'm not even a Yankees fan, and I'm like, oh man, this is fun
Oh
to watch, man.
Lord,
Crazy.
that kid is good. I mean, if the Yankees can get that kind of pitching until the big dogs come back, I mean, the Toronto Blue Jays are going to have their freaking hands full.
Yeah,
Because that team at full strength, like we said, is probably the best pitching staff in in the American League, maybe in baseball. But if they can just hold on to those guys come back and they're at full strength, holy cow! I mean, they're so good that they sent Luis Heel down because they've got a bunch of guys that are ready to go.
Yeah, man. I just newest addition to the Nictionary. I love that flat cheese. Trevor Bauer. For one
like
to
it.
create a controversy around yourself similar to Trevor Bauer. I love that. With the definition, that's pretty awesome. Yeah, Curtis, holy schlit is right. I mean,
He's
as
good.
as a Red Sox fan, like I said earlier, it scares the pants off me. But as a baseball fan, damn, that kid looks electric. So crazy. Um, I did have another one in my head that was kind of surprising to me. I can't. I mean, so to go back to my Diamondbacks real quick.
While you're thinking about it,
Okay.
Final surprise that a guy live streamed the whole first day and is still alive and well.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair, Brandon.
That's a long freaking day, man.
It was so much fun. Like I said, like you guys came on and it made the time go by so fast for me. Like it was really cool. And to have all the guests kind of cycle in through the day that I just threw the link and I was like, hey guys, come on when you can. And sometimes we had 4 guys on, sometimes we had 3, sometimes it was just me. And I'm working on those Mount Rushmore things that we did. I sent Harrison a picture of the Red Sox one already, but so I'm kind of putting those all into a post series. And I'm giving you guys all the credit for it because I didn't make any of the decisions. So I can't take the heat for leaving people off, which I'm still going to. But, anyways, so you're welcome. But yeah, I mean, it was an absolutely incredible day. But so for me, I want to go back to the Diamondbacks real quick. Watching that series against the Dodgers, they do have some holes. Obviously, we knew they were going to. Ryan Nelson has some really good stuff, and they were in those games with the Dodgers. So I don't think, looking at the Giants and looking at the Diamondbacks, I don't think the Diamondbacks are as far back as we are thinking. Even myself, I was thinking, yeah, 4th place finish. I don't know if they are going to be that far behind. I could see them competing for a wild card spot. And especially if they get a couple of these pieces back, I think they're going to be okay.
Yeah.
Are they going to win anything? No, they're not. But
no.
I think they'll be all right.
Well, and I would agree. I meant to mention it earlier, but like I watched some of the Dodgers Diamondbacks and it was competitive. The Diamondbacks clearly like don't have enough, but they're gonna get guys back throughout the year. So like I don't know what this team looks like as they get to the All-Star break, as they get into August, like as they get healthy. But they're in a weird spot right now. They've got kind of like 3/4 of their team healthy and a bunch of guys coming back, and it is weird. But I did love the Ketel Marte and Freddie Freeman hug. That was fun.
Yeah, that was
a
pretty
couple
cool.
couple of veterans just having a good time out there. I thought that was great.
Yeah.
But the
awesome.
D-backs were competitive, more so than I expected. Now, they got they got rolled in 3 games, but they were definitely more competitive than I expected given the fact that they are missing a lot of key pieces.
And they should have won 2 of those games. It was just one pitch. Will Smith again, man, go ahead homer in the bottom of the 8th, and it's like, jeez, you just can't consistently get that Dodgers lineup out.
No.
It's disgusting. It's not even fair, really.
No, there's too many bats.
Yeah, I mean, Shohei, Mookie, and Freddie didn't really do anything the first 2 games. I mean, Freddie tore him apart in game 3. He was like 4 for 4 or something like that. But they didn't do anything. But the rest of the lineup's like, yeah, that's fine. I got you. Their rookie. God, what's his name? He's starting second base. I had his name and I just lost it.
Oh yeah, the guy that sent Hyun Kim down for. Oh my God,
he destroyed the Diamondbacks this weekend. He had a homer, couple doubles. He was good. So I mean, he should probably almost be in that discussion too. God, what is his name? I lost it. It's all right. Yeah, Greg, we talked about this. We were talking about the ABS earlier. I'll tell you what wasn't a surprise.
Freeland?
Yes, thank you, Freeland. Yep. Yes. He had a good weekend.
He did. He looks good. I mean, he's got some talent.
Yeah. Greg goes, I'll tell you what wasn't a surprise. CB Buckner being an absolute freaking bum. Yeah.
Yeah.
Middlebrooks was going off on him in WEI. It was beautiful. Yeah, I mean, it was. We talked about it earlier. It was not pretty for sure, but yeah, I am. Oh, okay, yeah. Let's bring up Murakami for the White Sox. He's had a good opening debut as well, so he's got a couple homers under his belt, and
He hit a third today.
was it a third one today?
Yep.
So all right, so let's. I tend to hesitate to kind of lump him into the rookie group. I know technically he's a rookie, right? Like I get it, but he's been playing professional baseball for 7 years.
Yeah.
Like right? So I mean, yes, he has to make the leap to the MLB and it seems like he has. And it's still not helping the White Sox win, although I think they did today. They were ahead last time I checked. But yeah, I mean, he's had a great start. So the scouting report was hole in his swing, ball didn't find it. No. So yeah, absolutely. Murakami, great weekend surprise there too. So, but yeah. All right. Some other new stuff. Shane Boz extended 5 years for 68 million. How do we like this?
I mean, if he's healthy, that's a great deal. If he's not, or he's not able to find the strike zone, then it's a terrible deal. I think that the Orioles are very high on him, and we've said it for the last couple of years. Like the guy's got incredible stuff. He just can't seem to put it all together. If he puts it all together, though, this guy could be dangerous.
Yeah, I agree with you. Nico Horner extended 6 years, 141 million. So we kind of talked about this the other day. It was like in talks. We didn't have the final numbers. 6 years, 141 on a guy that they had on the trade block last winter. Thoughts about this kind of solidifying that middle with him and PCA?
I mean, you look at it; they've now got their core guys all tied up through, I want to say, 2029 or 2030. Bush, Dansby, Horner, PCA, like your core is intact for a while. And I mean, Nico Horner is one of, if not the best overall second baseman in baseball. I mean, if you can sign this guy, you absolutely do it. And
Yeah.
I applaud the Cubs for making the move to keep him because he's such a big part of what they do. And a guy who gets like literally no love nationally for what he does for that team, but he's so important.
I don't understand how he didn't even crack the top 100, being probably the best second baseman in the game. I don't get it.
The dude's been top 3 in WAR for like the last like 2 or 3 seasons at second base, and nobody knows him. Like
Yeah.
nobody talks about the guy. I think he's number 1 last year, number 2 the year before that. Like he is absolutely one of the best second basemen in baseball, and yet nobody knows who he is.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, Horner's solid. I'm with you, Scott. I mean, I when the rumors came up that Red Sox were a possibility for Horner, I was like, give them whoever,
Yep.
please. I was like, send the whole team. We'll play with just Nico Horner this year. Like, I'm fine with that. Send everybody.
He's so good.
Yeah, I totally would have sent Duran and a Peyton Tolley for Nico Horner to solidify second base. I would have.
Yep.
Him and Ketel Marte, when both those names come up, they were screaming for a second baseman. Do whatever it takes to get one of the top 2 second basemen in the league right now. Because that's what I'd go Marte and I'd go Horner. I wouldn't even think twice about those two.
No, I mean those guys are the elite level.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, Dom Smith with a walk-off grand slam for the Braves. It's funny because our buddy over at Romantic About Baseball, Jason Wood, was at the game and he puts it in the chat that Dom Smith with a walk-off. And somebody else in the chat goes, Dom Smith's on the Braves? And then I go, Dom Smith's on a roster?
Yeah.
I was just like, yeah, I didn't even know that he was on a roster, but pretty crazy. Nico, I'm better than Bob Horner. Love it. But yeah. I mean, yeah, good for the Cubs. If they want to keep building for the future, I think this is great. Kind of locking him and PCA up for that. So
This comment from Greg. Imagine being fine with trading a man whose mustache adds a minimum to WAR. Oh my god.
That's lava. That's awesome.
Yeah, and Ryan, this is the story of Dom Smith. Like he just won't leave. He just
Yeah,
keeps coming back.
just won't go home. That's awesome.
He just keeps coming back. Like the dude, he's
Yeah.
like a cat.
Yeah.
He's got 9 lives. He just keeps coming back. And then he'll do something amazing and you're like, "Oh wow, like this is great." And then like he'll do nothing the rest of the year
Yep.
and get cut by the All-Star break.
Yep.
But brutal.
This one I still can't wrap my mind around, and I still can't tell if it's true or not because of how absurd it is. Johan
Yeah.
Duran is the first Phillies pitcher to ever record a save on opening day for the Phillies. I think at home.
Yes.
What?
Yeah, when you put the word ever in something, you mean like in their entire history? Like how is it possible that they've never had an opening day save at home? Now, I'm guessing that in Philadelphia they don't get a ton of opening day home games because they're in a colder
That's
area,
that's fair.
but you still get some, and at some point you're bound to win one of those and have a closer go out.
I I I saw this and I'm like, this can't be true. Yeah.
It's
Well, yeah, it's true.
bizarre.
Yeah, they've been around since 1883. They've never had a pitcher record a save on opening day at home. Wild.
That just feels made up. Like there's no way that that's a real stat
I spent
in
way
all that
too much
history.
I spent way too much time trying to research this and still couldn't find an answer. But it just yeah, wild. But like you said, I think that's a fair point. They are probably one of the teams like the Red Sox, Yankees. They always kind of start on the road or they start down south. Like they rarely start the season at home. So, but still pretty crazy. You almost have to try to
Yeah.
do that. Yeah. Well, and
Fair.
this, right? How many times have they actually won a home at home on opening day, though? And that's another fair point.
Also true.
But then, right, and then there's this. This was the other part, Michael, that I was like, well, I can kind of
Right.
understand it because the save hasn't been a stat for since the beginning of baseball. It is a newer stat, if you will. And maybe they're right, foul weather fan. Maybe they're just, they always win by 4 runs when they had the opportunity. That's also the case as well. So, either way, it was one of those things that I was just like, where did Curtis go? This was me when this came across my screen. I go, huh? I'm like, what? How?
Yeah,
I just didn't understand it.
you sent it to me and I'm like, there's no way that's real. Like that can't be real.
Yeah.
But it is.
Yeah. Wild. All right. Here we go, Harrison. Opening weekend overreactions. Paul Skeens. And thank you to Chad Edwards for sending me some of these because these are great. He's absolutely washed and the league has his number.
Wow. If O'Neal Cruz can read a fly ball and catch, the Pirates win that game, and Paul Skeens probably gives up 2 runs. Because really, he only gave up the one. O'Neal Cruz cost him the rest of them.
Yeah.
That was brutal, absolutely brutal. Paul Skeens will be just fine.
Yeah, I'm with you. This is a funny overreaction, but none of this was his fault. He was fine.
He got absolutely ripped. He got robbed by his teammates.
Yeah. 37 pitches and didn't get out of the first that's baseball, right? I mean, not Skeen's fault by any means. And just sometimes that happens.
Yep.
It just sometimes it happens.
Yeah, there's sometimes things don't go your way. There's a bad bounce, but like 2 horrible misplays and errors are not.
Yeah.
Not what you're looking for.
Yeah. Thanks, JMBB. I worked hard on that one. Time to trade Cal and Julio. Bums. That's coming from a Mariners fan. Yep.
Oh man.
Opening day overreactions by the Mets fans. Wait, that's always the Mets fans. Yeah.
True.
Well, and Curtis, that's fair. No, that's Pittsburgh, Nick. And yeah, that you're not wrong.
You're not wrong.
Yeah, and then right, Skeens will follow up his next outing with this. Ryan, you're right. Skeens will go 8 shutty with 12 Ks next time on the hump. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
And
and my guess is
we
you won't see
agree.
O'Neal Cruz playing in center field.
Yeah, this was Harrison and I called this Thursday night. We're like, or somebody else in the chat was like, and that makes him a full time DH for sure. So,
Somebody
um,
somebody said it earlier in chat, like O'Neal Cruz might be the best bad player you've ever seen because like the guy has got unbelievable talent, but he can't put it together. He just can't do it.
yeah.
But he's so absurdly talented.
Hmm. Yeah, we watch him hit a ball to the absolute stratosphere during the WBC, but he can't catch a fly ball.
Well,
Crazy.
and then he'll follow that up with like 5 straight Ks.
Yeah, right.
It's like
Right.
what is happening?
Yeah. Colin Paul Skeens washed after one start is actually insane. I mean, his ERA is 67.5, but that's irrelevant. Yeah, I know. Um, and highlights this is a great point. One of the things I love about baseball is the 162 game schedule. If this were the NFL and your team loses its first game, I understand the urgency, but not in baseball. 1,000%.
Oh yeah.
DH, pinch runner, more like it. Worst good player I've ever seen. Maybe Puig.
Yeah, Puig's a good one.
Yeah,
Right.
that's a great one. Great one. All right, next overreaction. Pete Alonso contract is a flop, and he won't help the Orioles at all.
Pete will be fine. He'll be fine. He's adjusting to a new league, new home. He tends to be a slow starter, so like I'm not worried about Pete Alonso at all. He'll be fine. The power will be there. The numbers will be there.
I agree, but he is facing more elite pitching in the AL East, I would say, than he has over in the NL. So does that take an adjustment period as well?
I think it does. I think he's seeing guys he hasn't seen a lot. I mean, with the balanced schedule, you've probably seen everybody, but you haven't seen them a lot. Like you don't have a full book or 10 at bats against these guys.
Right.
So there's definitely adjustment. New league, new home ballpark. He's still trying to figure out where the bathroom is. Like he's going to be fine.
Well, he better find it quick because he's crapping his pants as we speak. So,
I mean, sometimes you got to do that.
Yeah, it happens. Ryan says 37 bombs, 105 RBIs, and John follows that back with wait till summertime. So they're all with you, Harrison.
Yep.
Oh, Greg saying Chris Davis 2.0 time.
Oof, that's rough.
Don't put that jinx on someone, Greg. That's not nice. But
Yikes.
Yeah.
Love the man, but I didn't want him. So not a fan, Greg, huh?
Yeah, man, great. How are the fans overreacting at this point of the season? It's
what
just
fans
like,
do.
Yeah, I think it's more of us kind of making fun of those fans. It's not really our overreactions. These are some of the ones that we've actually seen. So, it's crazy how people actually just lose their crap on opening day / opening weekend.
Go on these Facebook pages and in these Facebook groups on the MLB page. Like read the comments.
It's wild.
Blow your mind. People are losing it.
Kent, we should have a link right at the beginning of our chat, I believe. I think it's right up there. If you would like to, that would be incredible. Thank you, buddy. Jesus, man, why don't we kick his dog while we're at it? Oh yeah. No, I know you weren't calling us ridiculous, Scott, but it is hilarious for us to go, like Harrison said, on some of these pages and just be like, this guy can't be serious. Like I hope to God he's not. So yeah, this isn't foul territory.
Oh, man.
I love it, Curtis. Oh man. All right, next one.
Bad.
Cal Raleigh showing why he didn't win MVP last year with his WBC performance and opening day performance.
Again, like Cal had a terrible WBC. He's had a rough start. He had a hit today. Like he'll come around. He's another guy that, like, I'm not worried about. He did put some balls in play that, that didn't fall. I think he'll be fine. I will say his swing looks a little long compared to what it was. Like I feel like his swing is longer than it was last year, and maybe it's just because maybe the bats I've seen, but I feel like his swing is longer.
Yeah, For me, it just looks like he's caught in between. His
Yeah.
timing is he's late on fastballs, he's turbo early on off speed stuff. I don't I wouldn't even necessarily say he's pressing. I just think that he's kind of just caught in between. He's at that stage where we usually see a good, helping of hitters that are just a tick off. Uh, Cal's more than just a tick off at this
Yeah.
moment, but he'll find it. 37-105 is Ryan's prediction. Don't hate that,
Yep.
you know.
Yeah.
So
And maybe being a tick off is also him trying to hit the long balls and show that last year wasn't a fluke. But like his approach seems different. Like the swing feels longer, bigger. Something just doesn't seem right with him.
he'll come around tomorrow. Weathers is pitching for us. He'll be back. Maybe Cal should have dapped up Randy in the WBC. Yeah, that would have made his timing so much better for sure. Oh man,
Yikes.
love it, love it, Mike Reed. All right, Giants will finish 5th in the NL West.
Oh.
Is this even an overreaction?
Oh God. I mean, the guys on that team are too good to do what they just did. You're talking Ramos and Adames and Devers and Arise. Like you got a lot of guys put the
Chapman.
ball in play. I mean, Chapman hit a 107-mile-per-hour rocket at Jazz. Like, I feel like the Giants are in that same boat of like they're just a little bit off. I think they're going to be okay, but I will say their defense is wretched. I mean, watching that game against the Yankees, the number of times they threw the ball away and got lucky that it hit off runners, like their defense is terrible, terrible everywhere. And I think that's going to be a challenge for them. Like we expected the defense to be kind of rough because of who you put in certain positions, but they're bad. Like that team is really bad to watch on the field, and that's going to hurt them.
We talked about this a few months ago, and I'm sticking with it. I think defense as a whole in today's game has completely taken a back seat. Right? We look at the 90s, early 2000s, and the amount of leather that was just flashed around the field in all 9 positions. You were like, holy cow, defense. I mean, we had web gems every night. We're lucky if we get one web gem from all the 30 teams combined every night. I have never seen so many stray balls just rolling around in the infield. I don't remember ever seeing that in the 90s and 2000s. Every once in a while, you'd see a bad throw up the line or one that skipped. But it's like we're seeing 2 to 3 errors a game per team every day.
And that
I just
that
feels
doesn't
like
even and that doesn't even count the bad plays, like the throwing behind runners and
right.
like that aren't errors, but they hurt you.
It's just like if you are fundamentally sound on the defensive side of the ball in baseball, you're gonna win ball games because you're not giving the team extra outs. You give every single team an extra out, even the Rockies for crying out loud. If you give the Rockies 4 outs in an inning, they might actually score a run this year.
Yeah.
But you just can't give extra outs, and these teams are just handing them out like they're free ice creams. It's wild to me that I get it. Like defense has taken a back seat in every sport. That's a great point, Scott. They really have. It really has because offense
Fans
sells.
exactly.
Right.
Fans want to see people score.
Yeah. Ozzie Smith wouldn't have a roster spot today, which is dumb. Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, gone are those days at this moment. I mean, yes, we have some guys that can play stellar defense, right? Bryce Terrain comes to mind. Nolan Arenado still picking it over there at third. I mean, some of the plays he made this weekend against the Dodgers was like just still like what?
Well, and Matt Chapman of the Giants. Matt Chapman is still a very good defender, but he's surrounded by guys that aren't.
Right. I can pick it and I can throw it to him chest high and he still drops it. We got an issue. Yeah,
I sent you a message last night. I watched the Astros score. What was it? 4 runs with 2 outs, and the ball never left the infield.
Oh yeah. Oh, bad.
It
man.
was just throwaway after throwaway. It was terrible.
The ball did leave the infield a couple times, Harrison. It was just up the right field line.
Well, yeah, it was because it got thrown away.
Yeah, right. Free ice cream with every error. Dude, I wouldn't be able to eat any more ice cream. I'd become lactose intolerant
Dude,
probably with all the ice
your
cream I'm eating.
pump would be screaming.
Oh, yeah, for sure. But yeah, I agree with you. It does not look good in San Francisco looking at this weekend. And for me, I'm like you. I think it's the fundamentals of defense is just not there. Now, lone bright spot, I thought Arise actually looked kind of decent at second base.
He looked okay.
Yeah.
He looked okay. Adamas looked like an adventure at short. The outfield, Harrison Bader looked great in center field. The rest of the outfield was garbage.
Mhm.
You know, Patrick Bailey was fine, but even he had some moments. I just, they're not great, and it showed. And we knew they wouldn't be great. But for them, it's for me, it's the throwing the ball around. Like it was like little league.
Yeah.
Throw it here and miss. Throw it over there, hit the guy. Like it was just bad.
Yeah. And Brandon, like this might be crazy for me to say, but I think this is why the Milwaukee Brewers were so successful last year because they
Yeah.
put this type of pressure on teams and they just couldn't do it. Right? Brandon says it's funny, but bring back the bunt plays and guys would have a bases merry-go-round, and you're not wrong.
Yeah.
Like gone are the days of learning bunt defense and learning how to defend it and make throws to bases. Man, it's oh yeah, you don't have to tell me about bad fielding, and you guys can't talk either. We can't. Red Sox defense is atrocious. It's not great.
It's been
Outside
bad
world,
for 5 years.
yeah, that's why we don't talk about it anymore because it's just
It
it is
I
what it is.
I just accept the fact the defense is gonna be terrible because it has been for 5 years.
Ron Washington is not available, but he is on the Giants. I'm pretty sure he's the infield coach for the Giants.
Oh, I think you're right.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's the infield coach for the Giants. So he'll be fine. Give him time to sink his teeth into them. But yeah, it's just defense as a whole for me. But back to this main question, Giants will finish fifth in the NL West. Yeah, that kind of over the top, obviously, with the Colorado Rockies there, but it is what it is. All right. Next overreaction. Angels will win the division. Mike Trout will win AL MVP.
I'm buying. Let's do it. No. Angels had a good start. The Astros looked horrendous, which helps. Mike Trout looks good, and he even said it. Like I feel like myself again. Like he's back in center field. He's doing his thing. Crushing balls, making catches. For how long we don't know, but the Angels will not maintain this level of play for more than like this weekend, and they'll be back towards the bottom of the division where they belong. But it's been fun to see what looks like the Mike Trout of old show up again.
Yeah, and it's just I hate this because he does this every year. He starts the season. First 10 games, he's like 15 for 30 with 10 bombs, 40 knocked in. And then it's like, all right, well, I'm just going to go on the IL for 130 games. We'll see you next year.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, I hate that. But man, if he can stay on the field, he is the best in the game. Really. I mean, I know there's Ohtani, but I think Mike Trout is a step above him in the batter's box. Solely just the batter's box. There's not any holes in Mike Trout swings. Can you get him out? Yeah. But he can hit the ball with power opposite field. Up and in, down and away, up and away. There's not many places in the strike zone you can get Mike Trout out where he won't hurt you when he's right.
And Mike Trout at his prime was potentially one of the 5 or 6 best players in baseball history. Like what he was doing, he was on that trajectory to be one of the Mount Rushmore of baseball type guys.
Yeah,
but
1,000% agree.
He just doesn't have the health anymore, and that's not going to change. He's not suddenly going to play 150 games.
Yeah,
out of the blue.
Trout plays 57 games. Ryan says. Highlight says the Angels never address pitching, but I would love to see Trout have an injury-free season. And we're with you there. I like Soriano. I really do.
Yeah.
I was high on him before. He had a really good outing his first time out. I like him, but then who do you got? We still haven't seen Rodriguez or Manoa yet. What are we going to get with that? I don't know. That could potentially be a circus act. We no idea.
Yeah. Not much.
Um, yeah, yeah, and only 3 playoff games in his career is sad, Scott. I'm with you. It's oh, brutal. Curtis, I think I'm with you here. I'm gonna take it right at 90, but over under making it to 90 games. What are your thoughts, Harrison?
I mean, I so badly want to take the over and say that he makes it more than 90 games. Like I'm at the point now where like I'd even be happy with 120 games of Mike Trout. Like play 3/4 of the season, I'd be happy with that. I think if they manage him, they can probably get that out of him. They've done it before, but I'm afraid that there's going to be that one swing where he tweaks that back and winces in pain, and then we don't see him until next year. And that's always the risk with him. Is I mean, Jacob DeGrom got scratched from his start. He's already dealing with an elbow thing. Trout is in that same category of guys like you just don't know when might be his last day.
Yeah, it sucks. But 90 games. I'm gonna, smash the bar, if you will. I'm gonna take exactly 90 games. Why not? I think that's about right. And Ryan, good,
It's sad that's where we're at.
yeah. And Ryan, good point. How bad would you want to stay on the field if you were spending every day in an Angels jersey? Yawn.
It
Um,
doesn't it doesn't seem to bother him. Like he's been very open about the fact like he loves it there. It's where he wants to be. Like even with the lack of success, it doesn't bother him.
yep. I mean, that also helps when you're going to the bank every week with another $40 million in your paycheck. I mean, that contract
I mean,
doesn't suck.
it doesn't. I mean, it's you could do worse.
Yeah. One more disappointment for the opening weekend. The Dodgers found a way to make Edwin Diaz's entrance suck. It is not good. Have you seen the entrance yet, Harrison?
I didn't. I saw a clip and
It
everybody
is
seemed to think it was great, but
the
what's
live
different about it?
the live trumpet. They have a lady
Oh,
that they have hired to do that every time he comes in, and it's not even close to the same. It's not it's not
oh.
good. I agree.
I had to go back and watch it then.
Yeah. It's not good, but all right. Jacob Mizorowski, after his opening day start, will win the Cy Young Award in the NL.
If he faces the White Sox every start, for sure. Yeah, I mean, no doubt. I mean, I think this kid is super talented and has an incredibly high ceiling. He may win a Cy Young one day. I don't think he's quite there. He has to show he can pitch for more than 10 starts at an elite level. He had a tough time last year. He got about midway through and kind of fell apart. I'd like to see him string together a nice stretch of pitching before I jump on the Cy Young bandwagon. But I do think his stuff, once he kind of learns to pitch at this level, I think that he could be a guy that absolutely chases Cy Young awards.
Yeah, his stuff plays for sure. I mean, Skeens has entered the chat, 64 ERA aside. Yeah. No,
Yeah,
I'm with you. I said it last show or Thursday during the marathon. It's Paul Skeens is the pitcher equivalent to Shohei Ohtani. It's his Cy Young award until he decides to hand the torch to somebody
yep,
or he switches leagues in a trade, right? Um, it's as impressive as his Mizorowski start was on opening day. He won't win Cy Young. I mean, what he was 11 Ks, 6 shutout innings, something like that. I mean,
yep.
it was damn impressive. But yeah, I'm with you. It's no one's award but Paul Skeens until he's somehow not associated with a national league. So it
Yeah.
is what it
I mean,
is.
it's gonna be hard to beat him, but I think Mizorowski's stuff is damn good and will
Yep,
continue to get better.
agree. All right. Any other kind of overreactions that you can think of before we move on to discussion topics tonight?
Um, No, I mean, I think that obviously Mets fans are already planning the World Series trip, which is a little premature. Um, I think the AL East is going to be really good, really fun to watch. I think the NL West has to figure it out. I think the Central divisions are what we thought they'd be. They're kind of unexciting. Um, I think you're going to have some good battles in there, but you don't have teams that are like legitimate World Series contenders in those divisions.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm with you. All right. Yeah. Emerson Hancock, 9 Ks, no hits in his season debut tonight for the Mariners. Pretty damn good start there. So
Yeah, that's all right.
good call. Yeah. If you like that sort of thing.
Yeah, I mean,
Um,
whatever.
yeah. All right, here we go. First out of left field discussion topics. These were all made by Harrison. So what do you got?
All right, first one here, Nick, and this one kind of caught me off guard, so I added it. And maybe nobody really cares, but I found it fascinating. So on opening day of 2026, Major League Baseball had the lowest percentage of foreign-born players since 2014. So all the hype around Japan, DR, Venezuela, blah blah blah, we're at our lowest percentage of foreign-born players since 2014. So my question is, what's changed? Has something in baseball changed, or is that just how the talent has spread out?
I, I don't really know how to go about this one. Um, it would be interesting to see what the numbers are if you add all levels of the organization too. Right? I mean,
Yeah.
if you go from single A all the way up to MLB, what do those numbers look like, right? Because they do have international signings and all of that stuff. So they do bring those guys in, but they just might not be at the MLB level at this time. I don't know. I mean, for me, I think the league's pretty diverse, but I guess not.
Yeah, I mean, I guess at the end of the day, what we're seeing is there's a level of diversity in baseball that is beginning to fade, and I think there's a lot of things that get into that. I think the international signing thing is obviously part of it. I think to your point, Nick, the minor leagues are full of foreign-born players that just aren't on the major league rosters yet. But I do think that there is, and I think John Carter made the comment. I do think we're seeing baseball make a comeback in America. I do think we're seeing more youth play baseball again because I think for a long time there we saw the percentage of young players declining. I do think we're seeing players come back. You got guys like Skeens and Scooble that were like late bloomers in baseball, um, that weren't really big baseball players until like high school. I
Yeah.
do think you have players that come back because I just don't. I think that at younger levels, baseball's boring. Baseball when you're in the T-ball and the coach pitch levels, like it's boring. And even the low level youth ball when pitchers can't throw strikes, like it's boring. And I think you lose a lot of kids early on because we mismanage youth baseball and expect these kids to go out there and pitch at 8 years old, which they're not ready for that.
Right.
You should have coaches pitching for longer so these kids actually get a chance to swing the bat and the ball gets put in play so fielders aren't picking daisies. I do think we're seeing more people come back to baseball later. But at the same time, like you look at the WBC and all those countries that were represented and talented, um, where are all the players from those countries? Like the DR has had one of the biggest drop offs of any group, and it's like, well, baseball's life in the DR. Like, where are these guys?
I I don't know. I don't have an answer for it. I think the to your point about youth baseball, I think we have been in an age, me as a school teacher for the last 20 years, if something is hard, kids just quit, right?
Yep.
That's it. I'll go find something else to do. If I don't get instant gratification, I'm going to go do something else because it's too hard. I'm not going to do it. I had a different mindset when I was playing sports. If I couldn't do it, I kept doing it until I could do it. Like that mindset's kind of gone, at least from some of the kids that I taught at the elementary level, right? I would go in to help support my students in a PE class, and just the core coordination that you should probably have as a human is gone. Like, you should see how some of these kids like try to throw a ball. Like, it's right foot forward with their right arm. They can't catch. Like just basic coordination skills. I think technology has kind of ruined that in kids. Like, when we got home, what did you do, Harrison? You opened the door, you threw the backpack inside, you went outside, you played on the swing set, played on the playground, you rode your bike and played neighborhood baseball. I think it's part of that. It's hard. I'm not going to do it anymore. But it's starting to change a little bit because youth development in baseball, I think, is recognizing that and trying to change that. So maybe, like John Carter says, it is making a comeback here in America. As far as foreign born, like, I don't know the programs that they're doing over there. But Ryan said it here, and this is a good question. I don't know the answer to this, but is Japan paying players more to keep them? I'm curious if that's happening. Secondly, those players are demanding more to come over, and owners are worried about the coming strike. Well, we look at Rusney Castillo for the Red Sox. How much did we give him? Was it 75, $76 million? And he played 3 MLB games pretty
Yeah, it was a
much.
lot of money. They just basically buried him at AAA.
So I don't know. I don't know the answer to this. I don't know if anything's changed, or maybe it just comes in cycles too. Right? I mean, you think about it. We had the fathers, we had the Vlad Guerreros, we had the Fernando Tatis. Now all their sons are in the MLB right now. Maybe we just have to wait another 15, 20 years before their sons are in the MLB. Like, I don't know. I don't know the answer to this. I think it just might be one of those cycles. It just comes in cycles.
Yeah, I find it kind of interesting topic because for a long time you lost a lot of the American players because it was boring. They'd be playing video games instead. And I think I think baseball still competes with all those things, but for some reason you're seeing, I think I think there's been a rejuvenation of youth baseball. I think there's been college baseball. I think is in a really good place. It's college baseball has gotten a lot more attention. Um, and I think you've got the minor league systems just chock full of guys. I do wonder as we keep moving forward here, like at what point does banana ball start to attract players away from Major League Baseball? Do we see that begin to have an impact? Do we see these foreign leagues that are getting better become a real competitor to MLB? Do guys decide like it's just not worth it to go to America? I can just play in our professional league here and it's fine. Um, it's funny because like they published this story and there wasn't a lot of meat to the why. It's more just like we got to figure this out because that was one of the beautiful things about baseball is the fact that you had this massive like melting pot of cultures and you're starting to lose some of that all of a sudden. But baseball is bigger internationally than ever before. So where are the players? Is it just big with the fans and are kids not picking up the game? Like what's happening to cause that? Because with all this international attention, you think you'd be having more international players.
Yeah, I I don't know the answer to that. I really don't. And I don't even have a perspective other than I think it just might come in waves where next year you could see a spike, especially like I said, I think there's probably a ton down in the minor leagues that aren't even considered in the MLB numbers here. So I'd be curious to see what the numbers are across all of the organizations at all levels. So
Yeah, and
I don't know.
also like, do we see this correct itself in a year or two because we have a different crop of players come up? Because like you look at the impact rookies we talked about, they're all American born players.
Yeah.
That hasn't been the case for a long time. A lot of your impact players coming up were the Tatises and the Ellies of the world.
Yeah.
Um, it wasn't a bunch of American born players. Like that is the wave we're in right now. It's a ton of American born players.
Yeah. I agree. Um we got- yeah, Scott, this is kind of what I was talking about. I played football, baseball, or basketball until it was dark out, and then I went home for dinner.
Yep.
Yeah, same with me. Um, our generation went outside. This generation's staying inside. Yeah, and we're with you. Um, yeah, and we get this, Ryan, right? Banana
Yeah.
ball is to baseball as the Globetrotters are to basketball. It's gimmick entertainment. However, the thing that Banana Ball has going right now is kid interaction. MLB, you have little to zero access to these players, right? The kids can't go up and shake their hands with their favorite star. Rarely, right? And when it happens, it's all over social media and it's, oh, he caught Aaron Judge's 50th home run, so he got to meet him. Like that's really the only time that these guys get to interact with their favorite stars. These banana ball guys are shaking hands with all of their fans until they leave for the night.
I mean, hell, they're doing it during the game.
Right.
Like I talked about last time, there's a kid that caught the foul ball. They went and dragged him onto the field and celebrated with him for catching the foul ball. Like
Yeah.
I I was one of the people that believed that banana ball was a fad. It wouldn't stick, but it has a tremendous amount of momentum and it has a fan experience that MLB doesn't have. And at the end of the day, if you're going to pay 35 bucks, did you see the ticket prices for the Dodgers opening day? The
Yeah.
average ticket was like
That's
$130.
yeah.
You can pay 35 bucks to go to a Bananas game for entertainment or 130 bucks to go to the Dodgers game where you can't touch these guys. People will start to talk with their wallets and they'll start to go somewhere else.
Yeah. Right. And I get it. I think I'm with you, Ryan. I think for it to maintain its success, I think it does get gimmicky after a while because like I know he's got plans to do bigger stuff, right? We've
Yep.
gotten inside information on that, but like at what point do you as a family been like, okay, I've been there two or three times, like I'm good? It's kind of the same thing, right? Like it'd be interesting to see how they kind of evolve the league if they even do. But I think it's more driven towards the kids, where MLB is adult driven. Let's be honest, right? So I think that's it. They're just two totally different things. But and this is the other thing, Scott, is we don't have multi athletes anymore, right?
No.
So could so many kids focusing on one sport now be the reason why we're getting more baseball players? And the answer to that is yes. I coached baseball up in Maine on the JV team. I'd be in the middle of practice, and in my town, it was soccer was the number one sport. They were like state champions for 20 years running. No one could knock them off. And we'd be like 45 minutes into school practice, and they're like, "Well, I got to go to travel soccer, and I can't miss that practice because my parents paid $3,500 for me to be on that team." What do I say as a coach? Okay, yeah, you're benched. No, I can't do anything. So literally practice is 45 minutes because they're focused on soccer because that is the only sport.
Yep.
So yeah, I think that's also part of it. And that's why we're seeing Tommy John's also spike. Is because these kids aren't playing other sports and they're putting wear and tear on their arms because they're playing baseball year round with no off season. I yeah, 1,000% with you. But yeah. Man. All right.
I do think this is an interesting point, John Carter, and it's something that I was going to bring up is that
Mm,
I do think you're seeing football lose some popularity as parents begin to take kids out of it. These when you look at like high school and college football, the way they teach these kids the game, the way they teach them how to tackle, they're not teaching them how to tackle, they're teaching them how to hit. Gone are the days of tackling. Now it's just hitting, and you see a lot more injuries, a lot more concussions. And like as a parent, I'd never let one of my kids play football. Just wouldn't because it's not worth it to put your body in that kind of physical torture. I think there's something to that. I think kids are being pulled away from football and put in other sports.
yeah, 1,000% agree. All right, next one. Mm,
All right, this is an interesting one. 'Cause this one I think gets a lot of responses. But we heard Jason Hayward announce his retirement officially. And my question to you, Nick, and chat is: how will Jason Hayward's career be remembered? Was he a great player, or was he a disappointment given the hype that he came up with? How do you view Jason Hayward?
solid major leaguer. That's how I view him. He was a good player. I don't know if I can put him in great player status, and I don't necessarily think I can put him as a disappointment. I think he's in between. I know that's a vanilla answer, but if I look at the whole career as a whole, he was a good player.
Yeah, and I tend to take the same stance, but I've always been in the camp of I expected a lot more from Jason Hayward. When Jason Hayward came up, he was the next big thing. He was gonna, he had all kinds of hype. He had all the tools. He was going to be a guy that just made a huge impact on baseball. And he never lived up to it. He had all kinds of struggles with his bat. He had injury issues, but he just had wildly inconsistent performance his whole career. Defensively, he was elite,
Yeah.
but he never put it together at the plate like they thought he would. So to me, he was always just a good defender that hit a little, but he was never the game changer, impact player that he was supposed to be. So
Yeah.
I tend to lean a little bit more towards disappointment in the sense that he was a solid major leaguer, but he was supposed to be great. Like he was billed as great, and he never got there.
I I think that's a fair assessment. John's with you. I watched his first game, so much hype, never reached his level of hype, but solid veteran player. Mike Reed should have been more. And Scott, this is a
Yeah,
great point. Hayward never had a problem getting a job. And when you are an elite defender, I think one of the craziest catches I've seen, he was with the Cubs in San Francisco and he's out in Triple's alley. I don't even know how he got out to Triple's alley the way he did, but he makes one of those full extension straight over the back of his head catches. And I'm just like, wow, like
yeah,
insane defensively. But you're right, like inconsistently with a bat, just good major leaguer. So I think everybody's with you here. So my favorite play of him was his dinger off Zambrano for his first. After that, he was decent. That's it. Curtis says average. Thought he was going to do more. He was going to be a killer. Harrison is right, and Scott's with it. Totally fair. Yeah, a lot of hype. Didn't live up to it. He was a good, serviceable MLB player.
yeah. He's always been a tough one for me because people talk about like how great he was, and I'm like, was he though? Like, can you point to me where he was great? Like, because he had a couple of good seasons. And Curtis, I think you're right. He was a big piece of that 2016 Cubs team.
Yeah.
But again, like you look at the stat lines and you kind of go, okay, like he was a elite defender and an average to below average hitter, and it's hard to put those two together and say, yeah, he was great.
Yeah.
I think he was good, but he was supposed to be more.
Yep. I'm with you.
All right,
All right.
this quote caught me off guard, and I'll be curious what you guys think. So Mark Walter, who's kind of like the ringleader of that Guggenheim ownership group in LA, had this to say to the LA Times. Here's what the problem is. Money helps us win. We can't win all the time. We've got to have some parity. So we've got to come up with something that will give us some parity. And he said that to the LA Times. So are the Dodgers in on a cap? Is this him indicating that we're okay going down this path because we think it's good for the game?
This tells me he's already found a loophole, even if they do put a cap on it. That's what this reads to me.
I mean, maybe.
If he is in on this already like this, they've already found a loophole, which wouldn't surprise me. I mean, we don't even know what the status of the cap is, but um no, I mean it really doesn't matter because the Dodgers are going to be able to spend up to the cap anyway. So it doesn't really matter to them. And players at this point are going to take a pay cut if they need to go to this organization. They're going to be one of those teams that they're a magnet. If I want to go win, I'm going to the Dodgers. So
Yeah.
instead of paying me now, the kicker here is if they put in the cap, they have to close the deferral loophole, or it's not going to matter. Right?
Right.
Hey, I'm paying everybody on this team just $1 million a year. We're only spending $24 million a year on payroll because we've deferred everything out until year 3026, right? So it doesn't count against the cap. They have to close that deferral loophole for a cap to even matter, or the Dodgers will keep doing what they're doing.
Yeah, and in the cap environment, you typically have to count everything towards it, kind of like in the NFL. Like there are games that can play with the cap where you can put on like voidable years and all this other nonsense in the NFL, so you can, they're part of the contract, but they never end up happening, so you can cut them. But I found this interesting that he actually came out and said, like, we've got to come up with something that'll give us some parity because the Dodgers were believed to be the one team that was kind of holding out on the idea of a cap. They're like, not interested in it. And I'm not sure if this is Mark Walter being a good, good member of the ownership group to basically get in line. But when the Dodgers owner is talking about needing parity, I think it caused everybody to sit up and go, "Oh wow!" Like even he's saying we can't win all the time. We need parity. Um, wow, that's a bold statement to make when you're kind of the reason we're having this problem.
I mean, I think he's talking not necessarily as a Dodgers exec here, but as a baseball realist. I think he's looking at the bigger picture here because he's saying, listen, it would not be good for baseball if the Dodgers win the next 10 World Series.
Right.
Like money is helping us do that. So like it is good for the health of baseball if we don't do this, or at least make it so other teams can compete with us to give them the same amount of chance. Now, Scott, we have talked about the floor, and yes, we're in agreement. And I think that that's part of the CBA is if they do put the floor in, the floor has to be high enough that the money on the top half of the cap is the same amount of money that is in the luxury threshold, and they kind of just put it underneath. So the players have access to the same amount of money. So I think the floor is coming with the cap, 1,000%. They've already talked about that. But he's saying that Ryan says he's saying playing video games on rookie mode is getting boring, and that's what the Dodgers are currently doing.
I mean, you're not wrong. But I do think this is a bit of a change in direction for the Dodgers, who've been very quiet on this topic, and were believed to be kind of the one dissenting voice in the ownership pool. For him to come out and tell the LA Times that they're open to this idea, if I'm a player, that's kind of an oh crap moment for me to think if these guys that wield a lot of the power, being the Dodgers, are in on this, this is a hill they're going to die on. And we need to be prepared for a long lockout, but B, we may have to accept a cap to bring baseball back.
And foul weather fan, I agree with you, right? Baseball has more parity than other sports. I have talked about this numerous times. Baseball at its fundamental level, I'm talking no money involved, no nothing. The game of baseball itself has parity.
Yep.
Right? I can hit 10 ground balls to Harrison. 3 of them might hit a pebble and go over his head. One might stay underneath his glove. He might be able to throw out 7 out of the 10, right? So baseball at its fundamental level has parity. The Dodgers are trying to take that parity out by having players that can catch the ball 9 out of 10 times versus the rest of the league that can only do it 6 out of 10, for instance, right? I don't know if that analogy really works, but there's always going to be parity in baseball at its fundamental level. They're just spending to try to take that parity out by getting all the best players. So is there parity in the game? Yes. Like we've had a different World Series champion other than the past couple of years with the Dodgers for the last 20, 25 years. So like, yeah. Absolutely. Giants 3 out of 10. But yeah.
Yikes.
But you know what I'm saying. Like basketball at its fundamental level has no parity. Right? You bounce the ball, you throw it through an iron hoop. That's it. Right?
Yeah, and 1 or 2 players can take complete control of a game.
Right. Football, does it have parity? I mean, yes, sort of, but again, it's a quarterback centric league. Like it's I know it's apples and orange, but I'm just saying the sport at itself has parity. Taking all the other factors out of it, the fundamentals of that sport has parity. So I don't know where I was going with that point, but yeah, there's that.
Yeah, I think that's I think the Dodgers are realizing that they can't be the one outsider to this, and they have to kind of toe the company line. And
Yeah,
honestly, like if you're them, a salary cap isn't the worst thing for you because you know you can spend up to it, and you're going to make a bunch more money. Like they don't have a problem with it because it's not going to hurt them. It takes away their competitive advantage, which I think is the point. Like it's not going to hurt them. I think there's other teams that are scared of a salary cap because they can't afford to pay it.
yeah. And Scott, this is a fair question. Can any player take control of a game like a starting pitcher? Yeah, they can for sure. But do you know what the other part of that parity is? It also depends on who you got for an umpire behind the plate,
Well,
right? Like
and
that's itself has parity in it,
see Paul Skeens on opening day
right?
where the
So
defense absolutely failed him.
so yes, I mean, yeah, you can a pitcher can take over a game. Like a hitter can have a really good game itself, but I mean, how many times have you seen a guy go 4 for 4, 3 homers, and they still lose the game? Like any other sports, if I'm in basketball and I score 40 points, pull down 25 rebounds, my team's going to win the game. It is what it is. I'm controlling the possessions with my rebounding, and I'm scoring points on my end, right? If a pitcher goes 9 innings, no hits, 27 Ks, they can still lose the game by a walk and a 3 base error and lose 1-0. We've seen the Pirates throw a no hitter and lose. Like that's happened. So like
We've seen Paul Skeens have a 1.97 ERA and lose 10 games.
right, right. So yeah, I don't know. But back to this point, I think you're right. I think it's the Dodgers just being like, hey, we got to fall in line. We can't look like we are against all of this because of everything that we have been doing. It would look kind of bad.
Yeah, it's a bad look to be the one organization that's causing these problems to then not be part of the solution.
Yeah, agree.
But,
Yep.
all right, well, let's now that we're talking about money, the 2026 Forbes MLB valuations are out. And the question is, how bad is it? So I will link the article in chat for you guys to look at if you are interested in this at all. But what I like about this is it also shares revenue, operating income. So you can kind of see it's the most complete picture that you get as a baseball fan because there's not full transparency of the financials. So when you look around the league, you have on average, your average MLB team is about $400 million in revenue. That average team is making literally no money. And the average team, even with the Dodgers in it and the Marlins in it, is spending about $170 million a year in payroll. So when you look around the league, here's some interesting numbers. The New York Yankees last year lost 53 million. The Dodgers lost 21 million. The Phillies lost 52 million. The Astros lost 45 million. The Rangers lost 44 million. The Blue Jays lost 71. The Angels lost 14. The Nationals lost 15. The Diamondbacks lost 31. The Tigers lost 40. You have almost half of your teams losing money and most of them, minus a few, are teams in competition. Like these are the teams that are competing. A lot of your other teams are making very little when all is said and done. You do have a few outliers, but when you look around the league, there's for all the revenue the league has, there are very few teams making any actual money. And I think that is the situation that MLB is looking at, which is why the salary cap is becoming so important because these teams are spending beyond their limits to try to compete. Or teams are just not spending at all because they know they can't compete. But even when you pick on a team like the Marlins made $53 million last year on a payroll of 67, which means at the most they could have spent $120 million on payroll. That would have been a third of the Dodgers payroll if they spent everything they had. So that is where the salary cap gets a little wonky for teams, is that you have some teams that know they can't afford to pay whatever the salary cap might be.
Yeah, I think you definitely do have to cap it. You have to put parameters in place for all 30 MLB teams to fall in between, right? Because it's not going to be sustainable for a league if you have teams going bankrupt. I mean, Washington Nationals, look what happened when they overspent to get that World Series.
Mhm.
They went bankrupt or almost went bankrupt. I don't know if they fully went bankrupt, but that's that's an issue. So you're pretty much telling teams right now, unless you're the Dodgers or the Mets, if you want a World Series, you have to pretty much push all the chips into the middle of the table and hope it works. And guess what? If it does, you're still going to be paying for it 8 years later because you're not going to be able to get your head above water again. Like
Right.
it's a kamikaze mission. Like you're going in, but your franchise probably won't survive. And there's a lot of teams like that, unfortunately.
Yeah. And what's interesting is that you had $12.5 billion reported last year in revenue, which sounds about right for what the league has been at. Maybe it seems a little bit higher than usual, but still call it 12 billion. And these teams profited a total combined $80 million across the entire league. Like, if you are if you're going to go buy a major league team, we talk about the Padres. Are you going to buy a major league team and spend billions of dollars to make no money on it? Why would you? And
Right.
Manfred came out and said that expansion is absolutely going to happen. There's no going back. But who the hell is going to buy these teams?
Yeah.
Like, if when you look at what's happening in baseball, where you are now, obviously it's going to be fixed by then, or hopefully different by then. Why the hell would you buy a team?
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, Ryan, good point here. There's no way between ticket prices, merch, and concessions that can be true. At what point do we wonder who's cooking the books? Do you think there's any part of that that
No, because
like
this is being reported straight from the league based on money in and money out. I think there's no incentive to cook the books here. I mean, could they? Sure, but like they're reporting $12.5 billion in revenue. Um, that seems a little. So say they understated it by 5%. You still have teams making friggin' no money. On $12.5 billion, and you've got a total profit of 82 million across the league. If you can't make any money on $12.5 billion in revenue, there's a problem.
yeah, I mean,
Like, that's a problem.
yeah. John, and this is another point, right? Most of these owners are just flexing that they can have a team. Think that's another
Yeah,
part of it. It's like, yeah, I own them, but I just own them. That's it. I don't care what happens. They're just mine.
yeah. So I think a salary cap fixes some of the issues at the top of the league, but it doesn't solve the bottom half of the league, where these teams still can't spend the salary cap.
Yeah.
They just won't be able to. I mean, the Marlins. Now, could the Marlins make more if they were competitive and filling the stadium? Yeah. But are they going to make another $100 million? No. But they can make more. So say they add 50 million bucks to the team. Now they can afford to spend $160 million in players. They're still half of what the Dodgers are.
Yeah.
Like, even in their best case scenario, they don't get more than halfway there.
Right. Yeah. It's gonna be interesting. I don't know. It 2027 where there's no baseball. It's gonna take that long to figure all this out. There's no way.
I mean, there can't be. And the fact that we've seen Mark Walters pivot to now kind of supporting this tells me that they're all on board and
Yeah.
they're all prepared to die on this hill. Players Association and the owners.
Yeah. It ain't gonna be pretty. That's for sure.
But what's amazing is that you've got the Dodgers, who made $850 million last year, and they lost 21 million bucks because they spent another
How?
400 million on payroll.
Dang. Crazy.
But like they don't care. Those guys all just wrote a check for a few $1,000,000 and kept it running. Like it didn't matter to them.
Yeah, right. Yeah, other teams
But
that would cripple.
it's amazing. $850 million in payroll. The average team is about 400, and that's even factoring them into the average. The average team is half what the Dodgers are. Like the Dodgers are at a level that nobody's at, not even close. The Yankees are at 710. They're now falling way behind the Dodgers.
Yeah. That would be sick.
That would
Let
be
all
so
the
cool.
contracts expire or be bought out, and after the stoppage, redraft the league with a salary cap. That would be insane.
That would be amazing.
No baseball in 27, and the Rockies still lose 100 games.
Yep.
Yeah.
Love
Book it. Man.
Yeah, I'd take that action.
Yep. All right. To end the show, Harrison, follow the path trivia. You got some good ones for us tonight, or what?
I got some good ones for you. We got a mix of some newer, some older, and I think some good ones. I think there's some in here that are layups, some in here that are pretty hard. So
All right.
we'll see how you guys all do.
All right. Here we go.
So let's go to the first one. So Jack Moore, and so I will say in full disclosure, from some of the Mount Rushmore talk, I picked some of the guys that came up. So, anyway, so first one up, Jack Morris. Jack Morris started his career with the Tigers, then moved on to the Minnesota Twins before going here, and then finishing his career in Cleveland. So where was the third stop?
This one's a no-brainer. Good one to start on.
Yep, it should be, but there are a lot of people that do not remember this stop, which I don't know why, because he was amazing there.
Yes, it's absolutely the Blue Jays. The Blue Jays is for sure correct. Toronto.
Absolutely, the Blue Jays.
Was it 93 he was with a team, or 92? Which World Series one was it?
Good question. He was there in
I think it was only one of them.
92. Oh, 92 and 93.
Oh, it was both. Okay.
But in 93, he was terrible, and 92, he won 21 games.
Yeah, that will do it. Nice.
Yep.
Okay.
Ryan, I'm one of those people. It happens. All right, next one. Bert Behome Blyleven started his career with the Minnesota Twins, then went here, then went to the Pirates, then went to the Indians, then went back to the Twins before finishing up with the Angels. Where was the second stop?
I do not know.
This one's tricky because I don't remember this in his career path.
Is it the Rangers?
It is.
All right. It's just from all the John got it. Because I think with all the pictures that I've looked up of Bert Blyleven throughout our trivia, like I think I remember a Texas jersey in there.
Yep.
But yeah, Ryan's got it. Seattle Pilots.
Yeah, he was there for a couple. He was there for a couple of years. He pitched well. He didn't get any real support. He was basically a 500 pitcher with an ERA under 3.
Okay. Yeah. Nice. Good one.
So yeah. All right. Our boy Reggie Jackson. So Reggie Jackson started his career in KC with the Royals, then went to the Oakland Athletics, then went here, then went to the New York Yankees, then to the Angels before finishing up again with the Athletics. Where was the third stop?
In my head, it's Athletics straight to the Yankees. I don't know why. I'm missing one. Everyone's saying the Orioles, so I'm going with them. Orioles?
Which it was the Orioles.
Huh.
Yep. I do not remember the Orioles when I think of him.
No, for me, it's like A's to Yankees for whatever reason. Huh. Nice. Yeah, so everyone's got that. Baltimore. Nice.
Yeah, I didn't think everybody would get that one, but I'm impressed. I mean, these guys constantly surprise me. He was in Baltimore for 1 year. He had a monster season, and then the Yankees stole him.
Well, as they do. So, nice.
As they're known to do, yeah.
Good one. Except for Barry Bonds. They didn't steal him.
Yeah, we found that out. That nobody gives Barry a deadline. So, all right. Next one, Dave Winfield. Dave Winfield started his career at the San Diego Padres, then went to the Yankees, then went here, then went to the Blue Jays, then to the Twins, before finishing up his career with the Indians. Where was the third stop?
Yeah. I think Tempo might be right. Angels.
He is.
Yeah. Yeah.
It is the Angels.
California Angels. Not the Anaheim Angels, the California ones.
Those guys.
Yep. Nice.
Yeah,
Good
absolutely
one.
the Angels.
Yep.
All right.
David goodness
Cone.
gracious. All right.
Yeah, I knew he didn't play for a lot of teams. I didn't realize how many stops he made. So here we go. David Cone started his career in KC, the Royals, then went to the New York Mets, then to the Toronto Blue Jays, then went here before going back to the Toronto Blue Jays. Then he went to the Yankees, then the Red Sox, and then the Mets to finish his career. Where was the fourth stop?
Yankees, Mets, Blue Jays. Oh yeah, Royals first. Yeah, for sure. With Mr. Shumpet. That's right.
Yep, he went back to KC.
Mm-hmm. That's right. He traveled more than Moyer. I don't know about that, but
Yeah, so I'm not sure I can fit Jamie Moyer's stops on a slide.
yeah. Yeah. Yeah, KC for sure.
All right. Talking about Royals pitchers, might as well talk about Brett Saberhagen too. So here we go. Brett Saberhagen started his career with the Kansas City Royals, then moved on to the Mets, then went here before finishing his career in Boston. Where was the third stop?
Curtis says he went back to the Royals.
I think he's talking about. Oh, I guess, are you talking about Saberhagen? Or are you talking about Cone?
He might be talking about Cone.
Sometimes a delay, I can't tell which question they're answering.
Yeah. KC Mets. These are the only three teams I picture him with. Why am I not?
This one's a little tricky because this is where he got hurt. That eventually kind of like ended his career.
Saberhagen. We got Rockies. We got Jays.
Michael's got it.
The Rockies, really?
He went to the Rockies.
Huh.
And that's where he started to have the elbow problems, and it was kind of a disaster.
No way. I could have gotten 30 guesses, and the Rockies never would have been a guess because I would have guessed another team again.
Yep.
Wow. Did not know that.
Yeah, that was a tough stop for him.
Sounds it.
Rockies have a ball club. All right, Fred McGriff. I really wanted the Tom Amansky picture, but I couldn't find a good one. So, anyways, Fred McGriff started his career with the Toronto Blue Jays, then moved on to the San Diego Padres, then to the Braves, then to the Rays. Then he went here before going to the Dodgers, and then finishing up with the Rays. Where was the fifth stop?
I think the Windy City.
Which one?
It was the Cubbies, correct?
It was the Cubbies.
Yeah. Yeah. And it wasn't for long.
No.
Yeah.
He was pretty good there, but he wasn't there very long.
Yeah, because it was like in between a couple of the good first basemen, I think, that came along for a little bit of a time. Like in between, was it Grace and like Derek Lee and that kind of crowd?
Yeah. Yeah, that whole crew started rolling through there.
Yeah. So, yeah. Love that one. Nice. I love me some Crime Dog.
Oh, yeah. All right. Jim Thome. This will be fun. All right, so Jim Thome started his career in Cleveland with the Indians. Then he moved on to the Phillies, then the Chicago White Sox. Then he went here, then to the Minnesota Twins, then back to the Indians, then back to the Phillies before finishing up in Baltimore. Where was the fourth stop?
Well, it's got to be the Tigers of the Royals. It's the only other teams in the AL Central he needed to stop at. So,
yep, neither of those.
No.
Crime Dog traded because Chicago don't like the law. Yeah, Ryan, don't. Yeah,
Indians,
no more
Phillies,
guessing the Yankees.
White
I don't think
Sox.
anybody here's got the Yankees.
Indians, Phillies, White Sox. Where did he go after the White Sox? We got Braves. We got Dodgers.
It was the Dodgers.
Really?
Yep, he went to the Dodgers.
I do not remember that one bit.
It was like the only time he really like left his typical path. He was running a particular path, and he kind of jumped off.
2009.
Yeah, so the White Sox traded him to the Dodgers. It didn't go well, and then he went back to Minnesota in the offseason.
Oh,
But,
yeah.
yeah,
He only played 17 games
Oh.
for them.
He got traded. There was a huge deal, and then they barely used him. He was basically like a pinch hitter. Then he was hurt. Didn't go well.
He got 4 hits in his time there. 4.
Yeah, he was terrible. He was pretty bad. Pretty bad. 3 RBIs though. It's pretty good.
Well, that's good. I mean, at least they got 3 ribbies.
Yeah. They spun to the Dodgers, and it did not go well.
I had no idea. That's crazy. Again, didn't really have access to West Coast baseball at that point. So, like, as soon as he was kind of gone east of the Mississippi, he was gone.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of lost track of him there for a little while because he was bouncing around and.
Wow.
Yeah. Isn't he still getting paid by them? Probably.
Yeah.
All right. A player that I used to love to watch play. Curtis Granderson. Started his career with the Detroit Tigers, then moved on to the Yankees, then to the Mets, then to the Dodgers. Then he went here before going to the Brewers and then finishing up with the Marlins. Where was the 5th stop?
I want to say Phillies for some reason, but I don't think it's Phillies.
It's not the Phillies and it's not the Astros. I honestly, Tokyo Giants. No, not the Tokyo Giants.
Curtis says Toronto.
And he is correct. It is the Blue Jays.
Wow. All right. Michael got it too. The Blue Jays. Huh. I guess I don't remember him there either.
Yeah, I don't really remember him there. I know he played there, but I don't really remember anything about it. But he was in Toronto for most of the 2018 season. Then he got traded to Milwaukee. I just don't remember it.
Yeah, I don't remember much of that either. Wow.
I love the Grandy man, but
yeah. One of those 20 and 20 guys.
Pretty much, yeah.
Damn good baseball player.
He was. All right, last one. Johnny Damon. So Johnny Damon started with the Kansas City Royals. Then he went on to the Oakland Athletics before coming to the Boston Red Sox. Then he betrayed the Red Sox and went to the Yankees. Then he went here before going to the Rays and then finishing up in Cleveland. Where was the 5th stop?
Did he go back to the A's?
He did not. I 100% do not remember this. I was looking at it going, when did he play there?
Rockies, then.
No.
That seems to be the answer.
Yeah, no, not one of those. He was there for a season. He was really pretty good there. And
Mike Reed says Tigers.
It was the Tigers.
Really?
I do not remember him with the Tigers, but he had a good season there. 3-WAR player, had a good offensive season. Don't remember it.
Wow. Wow, you picked some good ones today, man. Like people that we think we should know and like had no clue.
Yeah, there's some interesting ones where like guys would spend a whole season somewhere and you're like, I just kind of lost track of him.
Yeah. Well, especially like those guys that bounced around, right? At some point you're just like, all right, dude, like I'm just gonna stop watching you. I can't figure out where you're going at this point.
Right.
So I'm just done with you.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
Detroit. Wow.
These
Good
are
one.
these are fun to put together because like I never sometimes I go in there and I'm surprised by where they played because I just don't remember
Yeah.
some of these stops. Like
Damn.
Dame is a great example. I do not remember the Tigers at all. They had
No.
a really good season there, but I don't remember it.
No. No. Dang.
So yeah,
Awesome.
these are fun.
Yeah. I love those. They're because I learned something new. Like tell me a Dodger. I no clue. Still kind of don't believe it to be honest. So
Yeah. Yeah,
um
it's strange because
nuts.
you think of him with the Central, but he actually did branch out.
Yeah. Wow. All right. Do you got anything else for tonight? I mean, we're 2.5 hours in, probably time to call it, but just wondering if you had anything else quick or chat had anything else quick before we hang it up for Thursday.
Interesting stat for those folks that love the bizarre stats. Um, the Blue Jays did officially set an MLB record with 50 strikeouts in a 3-game sweep of the A's. That is an MLB record for strikeouts in a 3-game series.
Damn.
That's not a good record for the A's to be to be holding.
No. Good for the Blue Jays, not so good for the A's.
Yeah, not good. But
Yeah. Well,
we'll see.
when you got two high strikeout guys at the top half of that, but it's gonna be
Yeah,
tough to get over that. But that's a lot of Ks. That's wild. That's crazy.
it's a lot of Ks.
Yeah.
And those guys were dealing.
Yeah. A's. Well, A's. Yeah.
Yeah, they will.
John Carter says bold prediction: the Twins bullpen will be the worst in MLB history.
I mean, they were pretty bad to start the year, that's for sure. I mean,
Yeah.
the Rays were wretched too. Griffin Jack's blowing the saves. Pete Fairbanks leaving looks really bad right now.
Yeah.
But yeah, we saw some pretty ugly bullpens.
Yeah. We talked about this a little bit earlier, John. We can bring it up again. Can we talk about how bad CB Buckner is, seemingly on purpose? Yeah, and for
He's
me,
terrible.
it's the arrogance and the just like the looking annoyed when they ask for a challenge. It's like, well, dude, don't suck. It's easy as that. Just don't
Yeah.
suck.
Yep.
But yeah, it's pretty bad. He is the new Angel Hernandez, and it wouldn't be I wouldn't be surprised at some point this year MLB gives him the old Angel Hernandez package where it's like, hey, buddy, we're going to pay you this much money to stay home.
Yeah. How about you just go away and we'll pay you this to do that? Cool. Sign here. Press hard.
Yeah. Brian says, man, the Cardinals bullpen is full of who? Who? Of who's that?
Oh yeah.
We just don't know the names coming out, but yeah. Yeah, I think the MLB at some point this year, it gets so bad. I mean, if it's already this bad opening weekend, it ain't gonna get much better.
No.
And I think the MLB at some point gives him the Angel Hernandez package that's got cash in it and says, hey, buddy, thanks. Thanks for your years of service. You can stay home. But dang.
Yep. So DeGrom, they're saying it was neck stiffness is the reason that he was scratched. They're hoping he'll start in the next series, either the 30th or the 1st.
Yeah, he's not going to make a whole season. There's no possible way. There's no possible way. There's no.
And talk about Mason Fluharty. Dude gets hit by 2 comebackers in the 7th inning and has to leave the game. Poor guy had a rough inning.
It's terrible.
Brutal.
Imagine getting drilled twice with comebackers in the same game. Ugh.
Oh,
bad.
Yeah, not good.
All right. Well, I think that's going to do it for tonight. We had a lot to cover. It was opening night, opening weekend, whatever, all of it. So we covered quite a bit, had trivia, had our typical discussion questions. So we will come back on Thursday with another week of baseball under our belts. But here we go. We are going after it. And excited. I can't wait for this season. It's going to be a good one. I think it's going to be pretty close and competitive. And there's going to be some awesome races here. Excited to see what these young kids bring to the game and if they can keep up the pace. So, pretty much pretty excited for that. Thanks, John. And I think we ended with 330. But I want to share it a few more times this week and see if we can get just a little bit more before we kind of close it out and send it. But yeah, $330 raised for the Thursday marathon. So a good start for us, it being our very first one. And we might be looking to do that. Maybe pick a good cause as a podcast and send it every so often. I think that would be kind of cool for us to do. So be pretty awesome. And yes, you can check this out on Wednesday. We have a pretty interesting format that we are going to try on Wednesday night. I will be with Romantic About Baseball and NYMLB Talk. It's called Clearing the Bases. And it's going to be like a point-based game type thing, but it will be live on Wednesday night. So you can check that out and see how that goes. And we might have a guest that be cycling through. So it'll be kind of fun to see what that looks like on Wednesday. So you can check that out. But yeah, I think the amount we raised definitely will help some kids for the year. So we were excited about that. So pretty awesome and a cool way to keep Captain's Legacy going. So, all right. Again, Harrison, nothing else?
That's it.
All right. We will see y'all Thursday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you all so much. Like I thank you guys every show. You guys are incredible. Love all the interactions and the takes. You guys are what makes this show go. So love that. We will see you Thursday. Have a good week at work or whatever you're doing, and enjoy some baseball. We'll see you Thursday night, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. See you.